Hey you all, welcome to Just a Shinobi. Today, we dive into an exciting what-if scenario. What if Team 7 found Naruto was in Anbu? Part 3. Hope you loved previous 2 parts. Hope you enjoy this, hit subscribe for more thrilling content. Explore my other videos, share with friends, enjoy them too, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. It motivates me. Let's not waste any time. Jump into today's what if. You've grown stronger Itachi, I'm glad being on the run hadn't hurt your skills. Stated Kakashi, who along with Guy, Isumi and Shisui were all on Anbu training ground for. Zabuza had a mission of some kind. Yes, it is good to see one so well versed into jutsu. I still cannot believe our elders would force such a situation on you. But may I ask, why is it that you don't use the interceptor style? Surely with eyes as strong as yours, you could be on level with me easily. Questioned the enigma that is Guy. Itachi wondered if Guy had always been so loud. Because. My vision is slowly failing. The cost of the Mangekyo, other than having to kill your best friend, is that the more you use it, the worse your eyesight becomes until they lose all their light. The only way around this would be for Sasuke to unlock his and for me to implant his eyes into me. That is why every skill I have can be used while blind. Explained Itachi, though Guy and Isumi didn't see the significance of this. So all we got to do is waken his Mangekyo and then you two swap eyes. Couldn't you do that awakening thing with some really powerful genjutsu? I was stuck in one once where I had thought I killed the Guardian 12 and was the only one left. If it wasn't for Kurenai, I would probably still think it was me who did it. Stated Isumi, thinking back to that time, he remembered how the two had first met. The light bulb going off in Itachi's head was almost visible. First a look of confusion, the thought, then astonishment. What do you mean, swap eyes? You know, you put in his and he puts in yours. I know an eye can only be implanted once before it starts to adapt. Is there some reason that it wouldn't work that way? Questioned Kakashi. He knew of the one transfer limit because his teammate in Anbu had once lost an eye and the only one available was that of an enemy that had died. No, there isn't. Kakashi, when is your next team meeting? Hokage's office. Thank you for seeing me, Hokage-sama. Earth style. Spear dragon jutsu. Naruto dove out of the way of the B-rank dragon, the window behind his desk exploding outward. Naruto fled out the window to the roof of the tower, followed closely by his attacker. What the hell, old man? Questioned Naruto. It wasn't every day that Naruto was attacked by his grandfather figure. Just a little spar, Hokage-sama. I have to make sure that I appointed someone of skill, laughed Sarutobi. Ever since his fight with Orochimaru, he had found his old will of fire burning strong once again. If that's what you want, old man, but should know I don't plan on holding back. Smiled Naruto as he flashed through hand signs faster than even Sarutobi had ever seen Uzumaki style. Wind dragon. Fire style. Triple fire dragon barrage. Shouted Sarutobi. The 3 fire dragons overtook Naruto's wind dragon. Water style. Great tsunami. In an awe-inspiring display of water manipulation, Naruto pulled almost all of the water out of the air and put it all into one strength attack. The wind-charged fire dragon was no match for the wall of water that Naruto had summoned to the roof of the Hokage tower. But Anbu, next roof over. Such power, these 2 men could destroy a whole village by themselves. Stated Hawk in awe, he of course knew that they were powerful, one was the god of shinobi, and one was known as the Bijuu killer. I know what you mean, these 2 will be legends, unerasable markers in time. Stated Boar. Just wait for the true combo attacks. That's both their specialties after all. Stated Yamato. Back to Naruto versus Hizuran. Hey old man. I think I have a great idea to help out the village. Yelled Naruto as he threw kunai, covered with wind chakra, to pierce an earth wall that Sarutobi had made to counter the massive wave of water crashing his way. And what would that be? Questioned Sarutobi as he broke apart his earth wall and sent it flying at Naruto. In the next 3 or 4 months, we hold a big showing of all our strongest ninja, we can hold it in the arena and invite all the Daimos and other clients to it. The main event would be me versus you. Stated Naruto as he put his hands down, showing his want for a break in their fight. Think about it. The god of shinobi versus Konoha's Bijuu killer, that would attract quite a few new customers, wouldn't it? We could have Tsunade and Jiraiya vs Guy, Kakashi, and Isumi. Zabuza versus Itachi. I must admit Naruto, that would be an incredible match list and it would be sure to draw a crowd and a whole new list of clients. Stated Sarutobi. A pondering look played on his face. But before we do anything else. I have one final mission for you. Meet me in 2 hours on training ground 0. And bring the scrolls from all 4 Hokage vaults. Why? Wouldn't it be safer to do it in the bunker? Questioned Naruto. Not for what we will be doing. Smiled Sarutobi before he disappeared in flash of fire. Damn old man. If you're this full of energy now, I'd like to see you in your prime. Naruto turned to head to the Namikaze estate. A smile slowly formed on his face. Maybe I still can. Namika's estate. Run Izumi. Or the Mr. Zabuza is going to get you. Shouted Shisui. He and Izumi had finally pulled down Zabuza's mask after about a week of trying. Now they were running for their lives. Shut up Shisui. You may be faster than me, but I'm stronger. Shouted back Izumi. Just as Zabuza picked him up by palming his head. In his other hand was Shisui, being held the same way. You Gakus are fast, I'll give you that. Laughed Zabuza, slightly scaring the children. But seriously. Who taught you two jutsu? My mommy. Sniffled Shisui. Zabuza instantly felt bad, seeing as Kamiro was good woman, a little messed up in the head, but it was obvious that the boy missed her. Mr. Turtle. Stated Izumi cheerfully. The turtle had given him a drank water jutsu for practicing his water style, and Izumi had been using it at every opportunity he could get. How would you two like to train with me for a day? Asked Zabuza. He was startled with how much he enjoyed playing and training with the boys, it was almost scary to him. Before either kid got to say yes, Naruto, who had just got home to see Zabuza palming the two 6-year-olds, answered for them. Oh hell no. I know how you train Zabuza, and there's no way in hell I'm letting you torture these two. Why are you wet? Zabuza just set the boys down and mumbled out, these damn kids both know a few jutsu, Izumi here knows water style, pressure palm, and Shisui knows some weird shunshin I've never seen before. Shisui. Can you show me? Asked Naruto. He knew that Shisui Sr. had his own shunshin that was much faster and used a greater control over the chakra usage, but even Kakashi could never get the right combination. Shisui nodded eagerly and in a burst of speed, was next to Naruto. Was that good Naruto Nai? Yay, very nice praised Naruto. That's Shisui's. His mother must have taught him. Oh these kids are going to be about 2 years top before they're genin. Still need to find a suitable third member for them, guess I'll just have to wait on that one. Thought Naruto. Zabuza, I'm gonna be having an all-day meeting, so I need you or Haku to watch these two, unless Shizune is home. And don't teach them any more nin, gen, or kinjutsu. If they want to train, get their bodies up to peak before they even see a kata, that way we can see what they're best at. Yay, yay. Don't worry. I raised Haku fine, didn't I? Stated Zabuza. He realized how bad that sounded, considering the whole freeze your balls off thing. I'm not even going to touch that one. Shisui, Izumi. Both boys looked at their idol big brother with total attention. If you two really want to be ninja, do everything that Zabuza says. Whether you know it or not, he's one of the strongest in the village. Both kids went wide-eyed. They were going to train with a strong guy. Okay Nai-chan. We'll do what he said, but what about school? It starts next week, can we still train with Zabuza then? Questioned Izumi. Yay. And can we train with you too Nai-chan? You're the strongest in the whole world. Claimed Shisui. I am not the strongest in the world, I would have to say that the Raikage is the strongest and probably the fastest. Or maybe the Tsuchikage. And I'm sorry guys, once you're in the academy, I can't train you because it would show favoritism. Explained Naruto. On the inside he was laughing, it was funny that they wanted to train with him and most likely, he would be their Jonin sensei. So can you train us until we get in the academy? Or after we graduate? Asked Shisui, puppy dog eyes on full effect. Naruto almost laughed at the look that if it was on his father's face, would have scared the shit out of him. Yay. You could be our Jonin sensei thing that Mr. Kakashi told us about. Claimed the ever full of energy Izumi. I'll tell you what. If you two work hard enough, I'll be your Jonin sensei, but you're going to have to give it your all. Bridge. Sakura and Sasuke were waiting for Kakashi on the bridge. They were told that since they were both promoted, they would stay teamed. For a while at least, until they were either apprenticed or assigned to a task force. Yo. You're late again Kakashi, what's this all about? Asked Sasuke. I'm here to tell you that you are no longer my students. Sasuke, you've been assigned a master, you have to pass his test, but it should be easy for you, I believe he's waiting for you at your home. Sakura, you have a choice between being part of the new medic program headed by Tsunade Haim or to be assigned to a chunin team, if you did that you would probably train in Tai and Jinjutsu. Explained Kakashi, and as a parting gift, I made you both scrolls with a couple the elemental jutsu I've copied over the years. And with that, he was gone. Well then. I guess that I should go meet with Tsunade-sama, see you later Sasuke. Stated Sakura, who then turned and walked away. Yay, see ya Sakura. Said Sasuke as he turned to head home. I wonder who it will be. Zabuza. Nah, he already has Haku as an apprentice. Hidden base. How's Kamimuro doing? Questioned Orochimaru. He's stabilized, though we will have to see if the lung transplant will remain problem-free. Answered Kabuto. Clipboard in hand and glasses on the tip of his nose. Good, did the illness spread at all? Asked the snake charmer. As far as I could tell, no, but I'm going to be running tests for the next week to make sure. Sir, if I may ask, why are you planning using Kimimaro body when we will have Sasuke soon enough? Asked Kabuto. How unlike you, Kabuto. You know as well as I that I will need to train to beat the brat, no matter the body I inhabit. That's where Kimimaro comes in, with his ability to grow new bones and medical prowess, his body will be able to easily last twice the normal amount of time that the average body would, plus I will have the Sharingan eyes that Danzo left as a sign of goodwill. You can only transplant eyes once, and I will not waste them on a body that only has a 2.5-year prime. I understand that Orochimaru-sama, but why are you switching so soon? It has only been a few weeks, and that body was the strongest we had. Because I want that brat dead as soon as possible, and the only way I can achieve that is with a body that is near indestructible. Kumo. Stop raping. Shouted Yujito. Oh, why would I miss too? Is it aggravating you? Questioned Bed. Could you be normal for 5 minutes please? This involves both of you. And stop flirting with Yujito. It's weird having my adopted brother hit on my adoptive sister. Stated A. Come on brokage, it ain't like that. I'm not after the cat. Besides our little bundle of rage is attracted to Konoha's golden sage. Rapped B, getting a huge blush from Yujito. Yujito didn't know whether to hit B or blush, so she did both. I do not like him like that. It's just that. You get hot when you see him trot. Questioned B, who was again punched by a furiously blushing Yujito. B, just don't talk anymore until I say, and Yujito, don't worry, we're heading back there next week to finalize the alliance with him. Now why I've called you both in here is because you will both be taking a genin team, as Ko-senseis. Wave. The beautiful Redeed stepped off a rather run-down looking boat onto the docks of the now bustling Wave country. Wow. And here I thought that Wave was a dump. Oh it was. But then our savior arrived and helped us turn it around. Now we're strong enough to train our own ninjas, though that's only because our savior lent us some money to start up a program. He even sent some ninjas of his own to help train the new trainees, stated a dockhand, a man that looked about 30 or 35. And who, pray tell, is this man that helped this place out? Asked Ao, stepping up next to Mei. His name is Naruto Uzamaki, but there are some rumors going around that he made a bigger name for himself during some battle in Konoha. I've overheard a couple that seem to be outrageous, but anything is possible for that young man. As for why he's so revered here, is because he and a man named Zabuza killed all the bandits and set us free of that wretched Gato, claimed another dockhand, a man that was obviously at some point a ninja, if the multiple scars and the way he moved were any indication. Last I heard of him he was being called Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. What's he look like? A man like that I might just have to nab him up myself, giggled Mei, getting a deep sigh from Ao. He himself had no want to marry to the woman, but he knew that whoever did would be as whipped as a steady pulling a cart. There's a statue of him in the town square, he asked us to remove it, said it was a team effort, but it still stands. Answered the older man honestly. Naruto Uzumaki huh? I've heard of him, what nicknames does he have? Questioned Ao. Not a lot of people knew, but Ao was a fan of Minato, they first met on the battlefield during the Third Great War, so hearing a man with the same last name, he found his interest piqued. 6. Konoha's golden sage, the Biju killer, hero of Wave, all kinds of stuff. He was actually here about 2 weeks ago, had some business with old man Tazuna, ended up adopting 2 orphan kids he found in the streets. I got to meet him, real down to earth about everything. Answered the younger one, obvious admiration in his voice. Both Ao and Mei were slack-jawed. Biju killer. Golden sage. The kid was a sage. Where the hell was Konoha getting these people? Thank you for your time, I must be off. Answered Mei, slightly drooling over the prospect of such a strong and apparently kind man waiting in Konoha. With any luck, she would get to meet him and maybe get a dinner out of it. Strong, check. Famous, check. Good with kids, apparently check. Down to earth, check. I hope he isn't taken. With Naruto. Achoo. Sneezed Naruto huh, someone must be thinking of me, he said quietly to himself. Then he shuddered. Hope it isn't Ino again. Suna. You're what? Was Gaara's intelligent reaction. We've voted you the goddamn Kazekage. Answered the Wind Daimyo, a rather tall and lanky man. Why me? I'm just starting to be liked in this village and I'm just a genin. Stated Gaara in his odd emotionless tone. Gaara, please just shut up and take the hat. Asked Tamari, she loved her brother, but he was much too hard on himself. You're the strongest ninja in the village and you can control sand. The very thing that most of our village is made of. I accept on one condition, stated Gaara. And what condition is that? Asked a nameless councilman. I want Baki to give me back my cookies. Stated Gaara in a completely serious voice. The whole room looked at Baki, only to see him about to consume a plate of cookies that Gaara had been getting from the Hyuga heiress in Konoha. No. These cookies are better than sex. Cried out Baki as he moved to consume a cookie, only to be tackled out of his seat by a pissed off Gaara. "Give me the precious," shouted Gaara as he tried to strangle the Jonin. "No," screeched back Baki, holding Gaara an arm's length away while they struggled for the upper hand. The rest of the room was just staring in wonder at how the two strongest. "The precious is mine. She made them for me," called out Gaara while finally managing to succeed in choking Baki. "Ak. Fiffin. Just give me one," requested Baki while his windpipe was being crushed. Gaara nodded and removed himself from his Jounin sensei. He then walked over to the table and picked up the somehow unharmed tray of sugary goodness. "If this is all, I will be in my new office, eating my cookies." And with that, Gaara left the room. "What the hell could be in those cookies to make Gaara of all people act like that?" questioned Tamari. "Hyuga compound. Lady Hinata. Did you make anything with this?" asked a branch Hyuga, holding up what looked like a bag of sugar. "Yes, I made cookies for Gaara-kun, why do you ask?" questioned Hinata. Lady Hinata, this isn't normal sugar. It's a special blend of sugarcane and herbs from the land of sugar. It's 10 times stronger and highly addictive." Uchiha district. Sasuke had just made it back to his house, even though he no longer used it as reminder to kill Itachi, he still lived here to honor his family. "Ha-san. I'm home," said Sasuke fondly, remembering the days he would come home and she would have lunch or supper waiting for him. "Sorry little brother, just me," said a voice behind him, a voice so infuriatingly calm it could only belong to one person. Sasuke turned around to see Itachi standing in the corner of the kitchen, making a ham sandwich with a side of pocky. "What the hell are you doing here?" "I'm your new sensei, but first, you're going to have to kill the one you hold closest to your heart," stated Itachi, taking a bite out of his sandwich. "I believe the name her is Haku." Sasuke turned to see Haku, bound and gauged in the middle of the floor. "You're more twisted than I thought, I'd sooner kill myself than harm her." "I know, but unfortunately for you. You don't have a choice," stated Itachi as he finally looked up, locking eyes with Sasuke. "I control you. Now slit her throat." "Iwa. Sir, a news report just came in. Seems Naruto Sarutobi is alive," stated an Iwa Anbu. Good to hear I'm no longer the oldest Kage," smiled Inoki. "Actually, sir. It seems the one our spies saw in the Hokage office is Naruto Uzamaki Namikaze. They have yet to announce who the new Kage is, but he seems to be on the top of the list." "Shit. At least if Hizarin was still in office we could attack, but that boy is just too much. I could beat him, but Konoha has too many strong ninja to attack with him in charge. Contact the Raikage, see if he will have a meeting with us," stated Inoki. He knew just how strong Naruto was, he was the only man to fight both Madara Uchiha and Jiraiya the Sannin. He barely survived both encounters. Naruto was stronger than Jiraiya when it came to pure power, even his dust release would have trouble with him, plus he was a Jinchuriki, so he had a near limitless supply of chakra to use. "Actually sir, it seems that both Suna and Kumo have tied into Konoha, our spies in both Kumo and Suna show that they're trying for political marriages," said the messenger. "Son of a bitch. Training Ground Zero." Naruto appeared in a flash on Training Ground Zero. It had been about 2 days since his clones finally finished his Hirishin seal, with the help of Minato every night of course, and he had already marked all his key spots. He was a long time away from being able to use it in battle, but he didn't really need it was more of a convenience for him than anything else. Standing dead center of the field was Sarutobi, at his feet were 4 dead bodies, the bodies of the Sound Four. "Gigi, what are they doing here? And why the hell did we need to do this here?" asked Naruto. "Naruto. What do you know of the Jutsu Edo Tensei? Lord Danzo, what are we to do until Orochimaru kills the Kyuubi vessel?" questioned a nameless root operative. Thinking for a moment, Danzo said, "All but the top 10, train. I want you all high Jonin by the time of our attack. I want the top 10 to go to all the smaller villages and take any strong children you can find. I will need an army at least 3 times the size of what we have now." "Yes my lord," answered the root, who then flickered out of existence. "Soon, very soon the brat will be dead and I will be Hokage. Then I will take over the whole of the elemental nations." Training Ground Zero. "Naruto. What do you know of the Jutsu Edo Tensei?" asked Sarutobi, his face a myriad of emotion. It can bring back people from the dead, but only if their soul resides in the pure world, so if a soul is sealed, it doesn't work. You can use a dead body or a live body, but it's much stronger with living sacrifices, and the Nidaime Hokage invented it," answered Naruto. "Good, now, when I was fighting Tobirama-sensei, he told me to bring back him and his brother, the first Hokage, to speak with you. The reason there are 4 bodies here is because I know of one other man who I'm sure would love to meet you, and I believe one that can help you a great deal," stated Sarutobi as he handed Naruto a small scroll. "These are the hand seals for the jutsu. The reason I had you bring the scrolls from the vaults is because they hold 2 of the people you are going to summon." "Okay old man, but I don't feel right about this. answered Naruto as he flew through Hans Seal's impure world resurrection. Uchiha compound. I won't do it. I'll kill myself before I harm her. Shouted Sasuke once again in defiance. It's useless, foolish little brother. You've made eye contact, now your will is mine, thanks to a very old Uchiha technique, one that no longer has a name. You're my puppet now, and you will kill Haku, Naruto, and then when you have eyes like mine, I will kill you and take them as my spares. Droned out Itachi, all while eating his sandwich. This wasn't the man who killed his clan. This was a monster of even greater stature than the Kyuubi. Sasuke was about to retort, only to find him moving on his own towards Haku. He was horrified to feel himself pull a kunai out of the holster on his leg and bring it up as his body was forcefully pushed towards the girl he had come to love. No. No. Haku. Please move. She can't move, she can't speak, but she can see, and she can feel. Answered Itachi, now standing beside Sasuke. Her last sight as she leaves this earth will be the man that loves her, slicing into her throat. Haku. Please move. Run and get help. Shouted Sasuke, his face covered in the salty water pouring from his eyes. His hand rose, no matter how hard he fought to disobey, it was useless. Sasuke positioned the tip off the kunai at Haku's jugular. His hand shaking as he locked eyes with Haku, only to see pure fear and disbelief looking back into his eyes. Haku. I'm so sorry. I love you, see you in the next life. Sledge. He had done it. He just killed the woman he loved. Haku. He cried out, why her? He demanded of Itachi. Itachi, though, was awestruck by Sasuke's new eyes. Training ground zero. Two coffins slowly rose side by side at Naruto's feet, followed by one on their left and one on their right. As all four coffins slowly came to the apex of their travel skyward, the lids began to fall, one by one. Good to see you again, Seru. And where is that kid that used the wind attack to reverse Ito Tensei? Questioned Hashirama. Yes, quite the feat to wipe out an earth jutsu with a wind jutsu. Nobody but my great-grandson could have done it. Smiled Tobirama. Oh, toot your own horn some more, Tobirama. He's my great-grandson as well as yours. Said a short man in a red long-sleeve shirt and combat pants combo with black armor. Uzamaki. Good lord, you're old. Stated Hashirama. Uzamaki was actually a cousin of his late wife Mito and was the village leader during the same time he was Hokage. Could still kick both your asses. Need I remind you just who it was that won that little battle between us, Hashi? Retorted Uzamaki. Besides, it's not like I was that old when I died. You old crone. You were one of the oldest living Uzumaki. Besides, you know full well that I could take you on in your old age, maybe not your prime, but definitely now. And why the hell am I here? As far as I can tell, this is a Senju Uzumaki reunion. Came the last man, long black hair, his left eye being covered, red plate armor, and most notable of all, red eyes that seemed to radiate power. The man was Madara Uchiha. Madara Uchiha? Why would your DNA be in the Hokage vaults? Questioned Naruto, still baffled by the array of dead shinobi. Who do we have here? You seem quite young, but the power rolling off you and the look you hold tells me that you know the true horrors of the ninja world. Who might you be? Questioned Madara. Naruto Uzumaki Nemikis. The god-aim Hokage and the only man to truly defeat a Biju. Answered Naruto, staring Madara in the eyes the whole time. Now, tell me who you are. Foolish boy. No man can defeat a Biju. Not even I or Hashirama could do such a thing. And you already know who I am. Why ask again? Questioned Madara. The four other shinobi were watching the confrontation with 100% focus. Asked Aburama-sama. He saw me do it, also, Madara-sama, why do you hide what you gained after your battle with Hashirama-sama? Do you feel that it was all gotten, just like the eyes you stole from your brother? Questioned Naruto. How did you know of this? Even Tobirama isn't that good of a censor, and I'm sure it wasn't written down. Stated Madara. Because Madara-sama, I can tell you're feeling no strain from your eternal manjikyu, and I can feel that you're suppressing your eyes. There are only two Dijutsu stronger than the M's, and I know you don't have one of them, which only leaves the Rinnegan. Stated Naruto. So you've unlocked the Uzumaki Royal Kekkei Genkai. I'm proud of you, my boy. What level have you obtained? Questioned Uzumaki. 4, I don't think I will ever unlock 5, but for now, it's more than enough. Now can we skip the rest of these petty comments? And get to the real reason you're all here? Gigi? Asked Naruto. I asked Monkey to bring me here so I could meet you. As I said before, you're my great-grandson, Uzumaki is here because he is also your great-grandfather. I wanted Hashi here to rub his nose in it that I had 2 descendants make it to Hokage, and he has 0 cheered Tobirama, Naruto no longer finding not that hard to believe they were related. Cool, but why is Madara-sama here? Asked Naruto. Why do you insist on calling me that? You hold higher stature than I ever did, truthfully I find it annoying. Questioned Madara. Because I respect you as a powerful shinobi. And even though most don't believe it, I know that your brother gave you his eyes after you lost yours. I don't even care you went missing, Nin," stated Naruto. "Nice to know, now why am I here? Surely it's not just to meet you, I know you're more intelligent than that, seeing as I can tell you have the power to beat any one of us. Also, you're the direct descendants of two of the most powerful and intelligent shinobi of my time, so it's obvious to me there's some ulterior motive here," stated Madara. "There is," stated Sarutobi, "there's something big coming, and I want Naruto to be as prepared as possible. You are four of the strongest shinobi to ever walk the earth. I was wondering if you all could train Naruto here?" questioned Sarutobi. "I'd love to. It should be fun, and anyways, I've got nothing better to do," answered Tobirama with a grin. "And let Tobirama have all the fun with our descendant, so it's a yes for me," answered Tamaki. "Well. I guess I could, no harm in it, right?" stated Hashirama. "I refuse to train a Senju or Uzumaki. But I will spar with one," stated Madara with a smirk. 2 days later. "Naruto. Naruto. Wake up," yelled Sarutobi. After the day of training with shadow clones and saying his goodbyes, he released Ito Tensei. Ever since then he was either sleeping or working, usually at the same time. "What is it, Gigi?" asked Naruto, head on his desk, clones around him doing the paperwork. "Smack. AHH. Screamed Naruto after Sarutobi laid a chakra-enhanced 5-star on his back. Naruto finally looked up after the pain receded and saw an older man with blue hair and an eye patch. Beside said man was the most beautiful woman he had ever laid eyes on. "Sandame-sama. Why is a child in your seat?" questioned Ao. Before Naruto could give a response, Sarutobi supplied one himself. "Because this child, as you called him, could kick my old ass any day of the week and he is my successor." "Nice to meet you both. Judging from your attire, I would guess that you're from Kiri and not the anti-bloodline side. Please, take a seat," stated Naruto in a tone that, while very inviting, told both ninja, "You fuck with me, you die." "Thank you," stated Naruto kindly. After all, it was obvious that this boy was the hero of Wave, which would mean that he was the one that defeated Ibiju, which would mean that May wanted him as a husband. "I am May Terrarium, leader of the rebels of Kiri, and this is Ao, my second in command." "The Ao? Kiri's number 1 hunter Nin?" questioned Naruto. "I've heard a lot about you, and I must say I'm impressed." "Thank you, Hokage-sama. I must say it is refreshing to see one as young as you respect their elders, not many do," smiled Ao. He liked this kid. "I know what you mean, my kids at home are still in the stage of not listening to me when they don't want to," smirked Naruto right back. "You have kids?" all but shouted May, somehow forgetting the story of how Naruto adopted 2 boys from Wave. "Yep, Shisui and Izumi," stated Naruto. He turned a picture frame to show a half-ass's family portrait of 6 people. 2 of them obviously not related, seeing as they were copycat Kakashi and Zabuza. The other 4 were Naruto, 2 boys that looked nothing alike and a woman about Naruto's age that was between the 2 boys. "Zabuza? You got him to take a picture?" questioned Ao. The hunter Nin had heard rumors that the only person to get him on film was his late wife. May, however, was almost in tears. In the picture, a little boy with dark red hair and a bright smile on his face caught her eye. It was Shisui, her dead nephew. Shisui. But how? "Hey brat. The kids want something to do. Should we make them do a D rank?" trailed off Zabuza. "Mr. Zabuza? Are you alright, Mr. Zabuza?" asked the 7-year-old brunette, Izumi. "He's fine. He's strong, member," said another little boy, this one with messy dark red hair and red eyes activated. In a move that even Naruto barely saw, May had moved across the room and swept the young redhead up into a huge hug. "Shisui. You're alive. Thank God you're alive," cried May happily. Naruto turned to Ao, silently asking for an explanation. Ao responded, "That's her nephew, we thought he died with his mother fighting off the bloodline haters." 2 hours later. "Well May, I understand your predicament, but I believe we should let Shisui decide. No matter his choice, the other will be able to visit him whenever they wish," states Naruto. May nodded. "I want to stay with you, Naruto Nai. That way I can stay by my friends and be a really strong ninja just like you and Zabuza," stated Shisui from his spot in the couch. Well, now that that is settled. Naruto thought for a minute, then a vicious smirk came across his face. He pushed the intercom button. Clear my next 2 meetings please." "Right away sir." "Hawk, Boar," called out Naruto. The 2 dropped on either side of May and Ao. "Bring me Tsunade, Shizune, Kakashi, Guy, Asuma, Itachi and Jiraiya." Naruto glanced at May, who gave him a flirtatious wink. "Blindfold Jiraiya." "Yes sir." They said in creepy unison. "Why would you blindfold Jiraiya-sama?" asked May. "To put it nicely, you're much too beautiful to be seen by my super pervert of a godfather," stated Naruto. May blushed slightly at the beautiful part. Sarutobi gave a perverse giggle, thinking about May and Jiraiya's next book. "Old man. I will hurt you if you continue that line of thinking. Stupid SS level brats, too smart and strong for their own good, mumbled Sarutobi. Is every strong ninja from Konoha messed up in some way? Mei asked out quietly. Wait till you meet Guy. Laughed Naruto. 15 minutes later. Are you sure? Yay, we need to test out some things anyway and you can never enough experience. Answered Naruto. But. This. Answered Ao as he motioned to the 7 shinobi assembled. These are 7 of your strongest ninjas, plus yourself. I'm not saying that we don't like the offer, far from it actually. But I must say, you would be leaving yourselves completely vulnerable. Nah, Jiraiya and Sarutobi will still be here, plus if there's any danger here I can just Hirishin back here. Besides, Suna is always a day away, Kumo is no longer a threat, Orochimaru is a non-factor right now, and Iwa is still suffering from my father. Stated Naruto. Well, as leader of the rebels, I humbly accept you support. Didn't base. Bullshit. No fucking way some punk-ass brat could capture Itachi. Yelled a silver-haired man. Shut up Haiden, it's obvious the boy is strong, plus if the reports are correct, he's a high-level Jinchuriki, meaning that Jinjutsu would have a difficult time working in him. Stated a large tan-skinned man with a skull cap and mask on. Quite. Kiss him. Is it true that Itachi was captured by the Kyuubi vessel? Questioned the leader. Yes, Pain-sama. He broke through one of Itachi's illusions like it was nothing and had him subdued in nanoseconds. He's every bit as fast as the rumors make him out to be, maybe even on par with the Yellow Flash. Stated Kisum. I see. Then we will have to step up our preparations. Itachi is lost to us, as even if he does escape he will be a liability. We will need a new member, as well as all of us getting stronger. Train and make money, meet back here in 2.5 years. So Sasuke has some weird manjutsu huh? Asked Naruto, a contradicting look on his face. He was glad that Konoha may gain a valuable tool, though he was slightly apprehensive as to what this new eye may do. Yes, as far as I know, all manjutsu other than Shisui's had 3 points or a pattern of 3. Shisui's was 4 and he was able to control peoples with his. Sasuke's has 6 points. We will have to wait to see if he has any extra abilities. Stated Itachi. Shit, and I wanted him to get some battle experience. Okay, for now, it will be you, Zabuza and Shizune going with Mei. Once you get there, I'll use Hirasian and we'll see what the plan is from there. I'll bring people to and from Kiri so that you're always fresh. Stated Naruto. It's a solid plan Gaki, but there's a problem with it. Even with at least one of them here at all times, if Iwa gets wind of this, it could turn ugly. Stated Jiraiya. It doesn't matter if they do, you and Jiji will be here, plus Tsunade will only spend a week or 2 max there to train new medical ninja. And I will be here at a moment's notice. Stated Naruto. Alright Gaki, but make sure you all make it back in one piece, otherwise Tsunade might just kill me. 2 weeks later, Kiri. Did you hear? The Hokage is going to fighting in the next battle with us. Shouted one of the bloodline faction. Yay. According to what I've heard, he has the highest kill count on our side, even more than Mei-sama or Ao-sama. Commented another. Not to mention the other 6 with him. Sharingan Kakashi, the Green Beast Might Guy, Asuma the Buzzsaw Sarutobi, Shizune of the Poison Mist, Itachi the Jinjutsu Master Uchiha, and even the demon if the leaf Zabuza Mamachi. Hear the Gaki. We're famous. Laughed Zabuza. I don't really care for fame, takes away the element of surprise. Hey Mei-chan, from the look of this, they're going to try to wipe us out one base at a time. Stated Naruto, looking at the strategic layout of the troops. Yes, but we should be able to hold them off till the heavy hitters get back to 100%. Stated Mei. Naruto nodded Shizune, how long till Guy and Asuma are healed and what's Itachi's status? Guy is still recovering from going up to 6 gates, but should be ready in 2 or 3 days. Asuma is recovering from chakra exhaustion and will be back around the same time as Guy. Itachi however is almost completely blind. He will need to go back to Konoha. Stated Shizune with a wince, she knew as well as everyone else that Itachi was one of the strongest in the world, but that didn't help the fact that he was now blind. Shit, I knew he went overboard when he used Amaterasu. Cursed Naruto. Damn, is Sasuke battle ready yet? He's going to take Itachi's place for the rest of the battles and they'll have to wait till we can get them both to Tsunade for the eye swap. Even with the Manjikyu, he's still low Jonin at best. He can't replace Itachi, we could get Genma and Raido, but even them together don't come close. Stated Kakashi. I know. I don't want to bring any more clan heads though, you and Itachi is already a risk. Stated Naruto we may not be able to substitute for Itachi on the front line, but what if we bring in some backline fighters? Who are you thinking? We would need squads and good teamwork stated Zabuza I got an idea. I think we have the same idea Zabuza. I'll bring team 8, 9 and 10, along with Haku, Sasuke and Sakura. 2 days later, battle strategy. There's way too many of them in that group, it has to be almost all of their forces. Are they really going to try to end this in one battle? Asked Ao. I don't know, but it would seem there has to be some trickery here. Last heard, they only had 9,700 troops left and there's about 8,000 of them out there. I would say that we should attack with our best and leave the rest out to defend our border. Stated Mei, of course their best was the Konohinin. I say you let Mei, Ao, me and my squad go kill every one of those assholes while you guys go around the sides and make sure they can't retreat. Stated Naruto, everyone looked at him like he was crazy. I know you're good, hell you're amazing, but do you really think that us 9 stand a chance against 8,000 men? Question Ao. Well, Zabuza averages about 600 people a battle, Asuma 500, Kakashi 550, Guy 550 and Shizune about 400, so there's about 2,600. And I still have a few tricks up my sleeve, so I can probably get, let's say 3,500. So if your people can get 2,000 combined from the sides and back, then yay, I think we can. Stated Naruto plus let's not forget that we have the Konoha 11 here, put one squad to a side, and they can handle their fair share of the fighting. Next day, Great Plains of Kiri. I'm not sure about this, what if Naruto-kun can't handle this? I mean yay, he beat Gaara, but this is like 10,000 people. Stated Ino. Troublesome. My old man says that Naruto has a confirmed kill count of about 15,000 in 2 weeks. I'm sure he'll be fine, he's not the youngest Kage ever for nothing. Stated Shikamaru. My father has informed me that Gaara-san has become Kazekage, making him the youngest ever Kage. Though I'm sure that Naruto-san is stronger than Gaara-san. Stated Shino. Would all Konoha ninja please report to the Hokage tent? But Naruto. No, for the last time, I would not pull out. Shouted Naruto. So you'd rather stay in than pull out? Questions Abusa. Yes, it's going to be way too much fun for me to pull out. Stated Naruto. Even if you run out of steam? Questioned Kakashi. Hello. I'm Naruto the human stamina generator. You really think I would run out of steam? Outside the tent. Ino, Haku, Sakura, Tenten and Hinata were all blushing furiously and the guys were no better. I wonder if Gaara-kun has that kind of stamina. Questioned Hinata, though thankfully it was quiet enough to where only Shino heard it. Hinata. Can you use your Byakugan to see how big he is? Questioned Ino, all the other girls looked to Hinata. Hinata did as asked, after all Hyuga were perverts, even Niji had a copy or two of Jiraiya's book. Hinata activated her Byakugan and looked for Naruto, only to gasp and look terrified. So? Is he small or big? Questioned Ino. 11. Easily 11 and with that, she passed out, still standing on her feet. Well, then, at least my boy isn't too far behind. Stated Haku, getting a blush from Sasuke. Suddenly, the flap of the tent flew open and Zabuza's head poked out. If you all are done literally comparing dick sizes, he glared at Sasuke, then get your asses in here, the strategy meeting is going to start as soon as Ao and Mei get here. They all rushed into the tent, Sasuke hoping that Zabuza hadn't heard Haku's comment. But you're all here. And now that we're done discussing my battle plan, stated Naruto, you will all be split up into your original teams, with Haku going with Sasuke and Sakura. The highest ranking member of each team will be the leader, so Niji, Haku, Shikamaru and Shino. Each group will be paired with a Kiri squad and you will accept every order they give. The leader as always, Naruto-kun. I'm surprised you'd start without me, though with your reputation, I'm willing to let it slide. Stated Mei as she and Ao walked into the room. Just filling in the blanks with my ninja, you know I never go in without a backup plan. Stated Naruto with a wink. If you two are done flirting, may we please get to battle assignments? Asked Ao with a sigh, they had been flirting since they got there. He thought they would make a good couple, now was hardly the time. Love to, alright, as I said before, each team will go with a Kiri squad. I've requested that no one enter the battle until I give the signal. I'm going to be using several jutsu that are widespread and I don't want anyone entering battle until I signal. If they retreat towards you, then feel free to kill them. But bloodline haters. I don't know about this. I heard those Konoha are all there for this battle. Stated a shorter man. Who cares? We have 4 times the amount of solders. Stated General Tanamaru, a large man with dark brown hair and a goatee. He was the highest ranking man left on the anti-bloodline side. He was the general of the whole army under Yugura, and when Yugura went missing all those weeks ago, he became the temporary leader of Kiri, though that didn't change anything. What about the Hokage? He's killed almost 2,000 men of battle the last week and a half. He's a sage and he can use the Hiraishin that made his father famous and he's ranked SS in Iwa and Odo. Asked another nameless ninja. It's all hype, I doubt any man is that great, plus this kid is, at most, 14 years old. Besides, no man can stand against an army. 4 hours later, start of battle. The anti-bloodline army was marching toward the bloodline supporters, extremely confident in their victory in the upcoming battle. After all, they had 4 times the amount of soldiers that the enemy had, and they had been informed that the man that had been slaughtering them the last week and a half wasn't as great as they had all heard. Though anyone that had survived an encounter with the Bijuu killer of Konoha knew that he really was that good, whether it be Tai, Nin, Ken or even Genjutsu, he was head and shoulders better than anything they had ever seen. While the anti-bloodliners were all lying in wait behind one of the natural hills, slowly moving out from behind the natural bunkers and around the sides of the incoming army, Naruto, Zabuza, Kakashi, Asuma, Guy, Mei, Tsunade, Shizune and Ao. How much longer until they're in position? Questioned Naruto. He was getting antsy, he hated the pre-battle jitters. About 10 minutes, thought from the plan you've given you can begin in about 8. Stated Ao. Naruto nodded. Are you all ready? I need every one of you to execute perfectly for all this to work. Stated Naruto. Yay, we're ready, though are you sure that you only need 7 points to attack from? Asked Kakashi. Just let the Gaki work Kakashi, you know as well as I do that he thinks 50 moves ahead. He's got this. Stated Zabuza. Well I for one like this plan of attack, plus he's funneling anyone who retreats into our forces and anyone dumb enough to stay, will be fighting a battle on at least 5 fronts. Stated Tsunade, who had taken Itachi's spot as she was above average at Genjutsu and was able to heal anyone that got too messed up. They're clear to start, they're all in position. Good luck sir, you're going to need it. Stated Ao, muttering the last part under his breath. In my day. Alright, throw M. Commanded Naruto. Mei, Tsunade, Zabuza, Kakashi, Asuma, Ao and Guy all chucked a Hirishin kunai over the hill and into the crowd of anti-bloodliners. They landed in a hexagon pattern around the enemy ninja and one in the middle. Let's do this. On the mountains above the Great Kiri Plains. Lord Orochimaru. Should we help the bloodline supporters? It would help us get more test subjects. Asked Kabuto. No, we have enough for now, besides, we're here to scout just how strong that brat is. This way, if he's weak after the battle I can strike then, or he's still strong after the battle, I can still see what his skills are and how to counter them. Stated Orochimaru. As you wish master, though I still believe that you could kill him now, he may be strong, but you are a Sannin. Stated Kabuto. Be that as it may, he is in fact stronger, he even knows that damn sage mode that my idiot teammate Jiraiya uses. And my snake summons won't allow me to learn to use it. Battlefield. 2 Narutos appeared in a flash of orange on the opposite side of the approaching army of bloodline haters, both his sage mode and Dijutsu already active and Kyuubi chakra waiting on reserve. Both Narutos flashed through a set of hand seals and shouted out a jutsu. Fire style. Incineration wave. Yelled the first Naruto as he threw a giant wall of blue hot fire in a wide, sweeping arch, creating a literal wall of inferno that covered about 300 feet across. Wind style. Blades of the wind god. Yelled the next Naruto. He swiped each hand horizontally across his body, causing 10 giant blades of wind to launch from his fingertips. The blades of wind flew towards the wall of fire and then combined with it, causing the already blue hot towering wall of flames to engorge and expand rapidly, engulfing a good 600 feet across and 100 feet deep of pure hellacious fire, not even taking into account the still moving wind blades that continued through the wall of fire, slicing anything they crossed. The heat from the inferno literally cooking everything within 500 feet of it. Thankfully, Naruto had already moved to the next spot. But Team 10. Holy shit. Yelled Shikamaru, shielding his face from the heat of the 2S rank jutsu combining together. Holy shit is right. I've never seen a collaboration jutsu so strong. Shouted Akirinin. Such power. Stated the amazed Ino. With Naruto, in front of the now restating bloodline haters. The 2 Narutos appeared again and just like before, went through a string of hand signs. Water style. Almighty Tsunami called the first clone, who continued to collect all the water. Lightning style. Wrath of the Thunder God. Yelled Naruto as he shot 2 beams of lightning, one out of each palm, at the wall of water. The effects were immediate as the wall of water started to shock and sweep away everything in its path, killing or knocking out another 500 or so enemies. Once again, he moved on to the next spot. Teammate. Unbelievable, so far that's 4 seconds rank jutsu and 2 collaboration jutsus. No man has the chakra to just be throwing out jutsu like that. Stated a nameless soldier. Believe it or not, I think he may be even better with Tai, Ken and Genjutsu. Stated Shino. Back to the slaughter. Now the enemy was retreating in 2 directions, though common sense would dictate that they should avoid going into openings. When panicked, prey will take any opening it got, which lead most of them to slaughter. The remaining 4 exterior unused Hirishin kunai all flashed as a Naruto appeared at each one, each Naruto staring down a flock of enemy shinobi that were trying to retreat. Brassing cannonball. The first Naruto launched the lightning variant that either destroyed what it hit or paralyzed anything close to it. Rasen Firestorm. The second Naruto launched the fire variant, which was potentially the most dangerous, as the spinning mass in the middle would tear apart anything it touched like a literal hot knife through butter, and the huge whips of flames that came off the rotating mass would horrifically burn anyone it touched. Basent Typhoon. The third Naruto launched the water variant. Just like the Rasen Firestorm, it would shred anyone it touched, and the whips of water coming off of it would tear and smash anyone unlucky enough to come close to it. Rasen Shuriken, Level 2. The fourth Naruto, which was the real one, threw the final Rasengan variant, which was the upgraded Rasen Shuriken. Instead of the normal 4 blades that spun counterclockwise, Level 2 had 8 blades, 4 spinning counterclockwise, 4 spinning clockwise. Anyone caught near it were instantly reduced to red mist and ribbons of what was once flesh. Each Naruto unleashed a Rasengan variant, one for lightning, fire, water and of course, wind. The 4 easily S-rank jutsu all decimated and traveled its way to the center of the battlefield, killing anyone unlucky enough to get caught in their path. As they met in the middle, they all combined, resulting in a veritable supernova of elemental explosion, taking up most of the field and vaporizing anything that got trapped inside, leaving a crater 500 feet deep and almost 1,000 feet across. With Mei, Zabuza, Kakashi, Act. Such overwhelming power. Stated Ao, who had to actually turn his Byakugan transplant off as to not be blinded. No way. Was Asuma's intelligent answer. The others weren't faring well either, as medics, both Shizune and Tsunade, had a strange mixture of disgust and awe on their faces, disgust from the mass loss of life, awe from the perfectly controlled chaos of what the young blonde had just done. So. I'm willing to bet that even all of us combined don't stand a chance against him. Stated Zabuza, everyone just dumbly nodded. Seems the great yellow flash has just been surpassed. But Orochimaru. Lord Orochimaru. What was that? It was so powerful, so destructive. How can he have such a high affinity for 4 elements? Even Kakashi isn't that good. Questioned Kabuto. Orochimaru just grit his teeth. So much power, and I can't have it. I will kill you Namikaze, then I will burn Konoha to the ground for keeping the power you found away from me. Above the battlefield. An aerial live view of the battlefield as the smoke, chunks of floating. Everything and the general chaos of what the blonde had done slowly came into view for everyone standing and watching from the hills. Hell. Literal hell on earth was the only way to describe what they were looking at. The massive army of almost 8,000 was now no more than 1,200. Broken, burned twitching bodies lay upon the ground, literally turning it into an open grave. The crater in the center of the field was slowly filling with groundwater. The cries of agony and pain was all that was heard when the dust finally settled. One man, to some, a monster, something even worse than a demon, was standing tall. His whole outfit still as pristine as the second he entered battle. The man, who many were now thinking was more god than man, was standing tall, splash sword in his right hand, his claymore in his left hand, and the Nadachi in his teeth. Senju style. Infinite darkness jutsu. Uzumaki style. Tri-blade symphony. Shouted the muffled voice of Naruto as he started to glow red with Kyuubi chakra, about a tail's worth, though not for any physical boost he may have needed, it was needed for him to stave off chakra exhaustion, or the damage that 8 consecutive S-rank jutsu, 6 of which were kinjutsu, did to his arms and mouth. In a nanosecond, every ninja, friend or foe, lost their vision and their sense of balance. It wasn't long before all the Konoha ninja and several of the more experienced Kirinins dispelled the mass Jinjutsu, only to hear what sounded like thousands of bombs per second going off on the battlefield. They all looked to see Naruto dancing his way through the remaining shinobi at speeds that even most jonin could not comprehend. With Mei, Kakashi, Zabuza, Act. So the Gaki finally finished it, about time. Tsunade-sama, he's going to need your skills when he finishes that technique. Stated Zabuza, Naruto had asked him for a 3-sword style. Why is that? And what exactly is he doing? Asked Mei, worry evident in her voice. He's channeling the Kyuubi's chakra, from what I can tell, about 2 tails worth, but just like last time, the Sage chakra is counteracting it. Stated Ao. Well, that too. But the Kinjutsu move he's using is called Tri-blade Symphony. Those explosions you're hearing are not the splash sword. He's pumping huge amounts of chakra to his arms, chest and legs to increase his speed. Every slash or stab he makes is breaking the sound barrier, resulting in a sonic boom. Stated Zabuza, pride and awe evident in his voice. But lord, does this kid have a weakness? Question now. Yay, Raymond. With Naruto. Everyone was slowing down, everyone but him, he saw everything at half speed and he moved at double what he should have. His arms and legs felt like they were going to explode, he felt sick, both from the speed he was moving and the amount of death he was causing. His eyes held a familiar pain that he linked to his eyes unlocking another level, though for whatever reason, the more his eyes hurt, the slower everything became. But he knew he couldn't stop, he knew, the second he stopped, he would die. He had no time to give the signal for Asuma to drop the kunai so that Naruto could flash to safety. He had been pulling more and more Kyuubi chakra, both to heal his rapidly shredding muscles and supply the very same muscles with the chakra needed to keep up his dance of death. He finally found an opening to give the signal, which thankfully, Asuma caught and then activated the Horatian seal on the kunai he had been given. Naruto flashed out of the center of the battlefield, finally cutting off Kyuubi's chakra and giving the darkness that had been bordering on the edge of his vision. "Minato-kun, it's time to go, I've let you stay long enough." Minato smiled from inside the seal, "You just put me to shame, son, you are now the greatest to ever hold the name Namikaze, and I couldn't be more proud. My job here is done, I am sorry I have to leave you now, but I can no longer stay. I love you Naruto, and I always will. Goodbye my son, please continue to make me proud, and if you get the chance, listen to your motor-mouth mother. She will help you more than I ever could." 2 years later. "Naruto-sama, I have come to make a special request involving team placements," stated Hiashi calmly, though in his mind, it was already a done deal. "I have already sorted out the teams and I believe that they are for the best. Though I believe this is about your nephew or your daughter. So I'll allow you to preach your case," stated Naruto. "Thank you Naruto-sama. I would like for Hanabi to be your third student. I know how adamant you are about teaching Shushi and Izumi, this will add the third member and you will have a very powerful team," requested Hiashi. Over the last 2 years, the village had changed quite a bit and mostly for the better. With Tsunade running the hospitals, Hiruzen taking over the academy with Iruka as the headmaster and teaching the advanced class, the 6 branches of Konoha, Itachi, Zabuza, Kakashi, Shizune, Guy and Asuma, taking mostly high A and S class missions, bringing in a huge amount of money, boosting Konoha economy. And the new crop of Jonin and special Jonin boosting Konoha's already impressive military, it was the most prosperous times that Konoha has had since the first Hokage made the village. "I'm sorry Hiashi, but I've already set my team. Hanabi will be with Niji and an Inyazuka and an Abiram, making the tracking team. Sasuke has requested Konohamaru, Mogi and Yuden for personal reasons, making the teamwork team, and I'm taking Shushi, Azumi and Remi, making an assault team. There is nothing I can do unless you would wish to apprentice her yourself," stated Naruto, backing the Hyuga head into a corner. "No. This is an important lesson for a clan head to have, especially if she's going to be the next in line for head of the main house, along with Hinata. I will take my leave now Naruto-sama, see you at the next council meeting," said Hiashi as he walked to the door. Naruto was weary of that statement, as the next council meeting was after the pass-fail of the teams. "Which reminded me. Yes Naruto-kun?" asked the old Jonin turned secretary. "When's my next appointment? And with whom?" asked Naruto politely. The old woman may be 64 years old, but she could still beat the shit out of anyone under Jonin in rank, and she knew Naruto's one weakness. "That would be right now, with the Uchiha brothers," stated Mai with a sweat drop. "Send them in please." "Hello Naruto-kun. Hey Dobe, what's the word? Itachi, team, have a seat. How's Shizune coming along? I've heard that she got out of the hospital yesterday, but she wasn't at practice today," stated Itachi as he and Sasuke sat down. "Fine. Bach-an let her go early because she kept getting out of bed and healing other people. She should be back in about a week, until then, Sakura will fill in," stated Naruto. Itachi just nodded. After the war in Kiri was over, Shizune had started to show signs of illness. Turns out it was minor chakra poisoning from using too much medical jutsu. Up until a week ago, everything was fine until she collapsed after a training session and needed medical attention. "Sasuke, you'll be glad to know you got the Konohamaru Corps as your team, though you're going to have to work hard with them, as Konohamaru is as stubborn as I am, and Mogi has a crush on you." Smirked Naruto, Sasuke scowled, he was one of the most sought-after men in the village, even though he was already engaged to Haku. Only Naruto, Itachi and surprisingly Genma, who was a single father, were bigger targets of the female population than him, and it was some form of a 3-way tie for 5th place, involving Kakashi, Zabuza and Guy. Even though Shizune and Kakashi were known to have a thing going, Zabuza and Anko were practically married, and Guy probably had more sex than anyone in the village. Seeing as he had a body only rivaled by Naruto and had the second most stamina. "Ha. Feel the wrath of the fangirl," stated Itachi, getting a laugh out of Naruto. "So, who gets to be named Team 7? Questioned Sasuke. My team," stated Naruto. "Oh come on. You know damn well I'll be a better sensei than you dope," stated Sasuke jokingly. "Too bad, you can pick any number you want other than 7, stated Naruto. Sasuke turned to his brother, "What team were you on?" Itachi was taken back a bit but answered anyway. I was on team 4. In case you're wondering, Tsukumo Haddock, Might Guy, Genma and our father were all on team 4. Well then I choose team 4. Stated Sasuke. Next day, team pairings. Alright, settle down. Stated Iruka, only to be ignored. I said settle down brats. In an instant, the room was deathly quiet, afraid of enacting the wrath of the big head jutsu again. Thank you. Now usually I give a big speech when I graduate a class, but I think I've given enough of those and you already got that speech from Sandame-sama, so I assume you're ready. Team 1 is. Team 4, consisting of Konohamaru Sarutobi, Mogi Utatane and Uten Midokado. Your sensei will be Sasuke Uchiha. Many girls in the class scowled, as not only would they not be on Sasuke's team, but Konohamaru, who had started to dress like a normal shinobi, had become one of the class heartthrobs. Team 5, consisting of Ryan Yuzuka, Teru Aburam and Hanabi Hyuga. Your sensei will be Niji Hyuga. Team 6 is still in circulation, so Team 7 will be Izumi Namikaze, Shushi Uzumaki and Remi Shiranui. Your sensei will be Naruto Uzamaki Namikazenju. 45 minutes later. And I told you team, nothing is better than ramen. Shouted Naruto was he, Niji, Sasuke and Shikamaru walked through the door, Niji got the eraser to the head from opening the door, Shikamaru made a statement about troublesomeness. Wrong. The best is Onigiri. Shouted back Sasuke, rice balls were to him as Pocky was to Itachi. Guys. We're here. Stated Niji calmly and with a sweat drop. Stay out of this Hyuga. Shouted Naruto and Sasuke at the same time to the branch house head. Hey halfwits. Yelled the uncharacteristic loud Shikamaru. Not many could call the Biju killer, the counter ninja and the immovable Hyuga halfwits, but Shikamaru was an exception, considering he and his father were Naruto's brains when it came to certain situations. The bickering shinobi stopped immediately, knowing that Shikamaru was pissed about being dragged along. Oh, Team 7, on the roof. 5 minutes. Commanded Naruto. Team 4. Training ground 6. 30 minutes. Commanded Sasuke. Team 5, training ground 5, 25 minutes. Stated Niji calmly before Naruto put a hand on both Sasuke's and Neji's shoulders and they flashed from the room. Roof. Alright. Welcome to Team 7. Let's get to know each other, let me know your names, likes, dislikes, goals, dreams for the future and your idols. Stated Naruto while leaning against the railing. Ever since the slaughter in Kiri he had once again changed his outfit. He now wore his grandfather's blue body armor, Tobirama's, a blue bodysuit like his father, and Kakashi wore black shinobi sandals and a blue overcoat with white lightning running across the bottom of it, the Uzushio, Konoha and the toad symbol on back. Hokage-sama. Can you go first? So we know what to do? Asked Remi, the short brunette was wearing a baggy green sweatshirt, black shinobi pants and black shinobi sandals. All things considered, she looked a lot like her father. Yay, I guess I could. My name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze Senju. My likes are. Well, a lot really, I dislike traitors, rapists and anyone who would even think about hurting my village or my precious people. My current goal is to make you the best genin team in the world. My dream is to find someone to finally settle down with and to finish my training. My idols are my late father, both my perverted senseis and the Raikage stated Naruto, though most people would find a 16-year-old saying he wanted to settle down odd. Naruto had been the Hokage for almost 2.5 years now, and he had only had flings and 1 or 2 real girlfriends. You're up Shisui. I'm Shisui Uzumaki Uchiha, but I'm supposed to keep the Uchiha part secret. I like Naruto Nai, Izumi Nai, the rest of my family, other than Asuma, because he's smelly, I also like training and a girl. I dislike the same things Naruto does, my goal is to become a chunin after my first try, and my dream is to become an Anbu commander like Naruto was. My idols are Itachi and Sasuke Uchiha, Zabuza and Guy, though I don't like the way he dresses. Listed off Shushi. He was now wearing a white turtleneck, blue shinobi pants and blue shinobi sandals. Somewhere in the village a bowl cut called out youth. Oh? Shisui has a girlfriend does he? Questioned Naruto. Somewhere on the other side of the village, Jiraiya was doing a victory dance and shouting one more to the collection. Before Tsunade punched him through a wall in their home. Shut up. At least I'm not like Izumi. Stated Shisui, getting a grumble from Izumi and a questioning look from Remi. What you do now? Questioned Naruto in a defeated tone of voice. I may have asked it out a teacher yesterday. Mumbled out Izumi. Naruto busted out laughing, he already knew the answer as to who he asked out as she had come to him last night and told him, but it was always so funny to see Izumi embarrassed. Shut up you team. I'm not like you can get any girl to like you. Remi was scared, she heard from her dad and Uncle Rido that the Hokage got very angry at people who didn't show him respect and her teammate to be just insulted him. It's alright Izumi. What did she say? Asked Naruto. She said once I was a chunin, but she did say how cute I was. Cheered Izumi. Alright lady killer, just introduce yourself. I'm Izumi Namikaze, I like the same things Shisui and Naruto Nai, I dislike the same things as them as well as a guy who spit a senbon at me last week. My goal is to control my tailed beast like Killer Bee can and to become a member of the 6 branches of Konoha. My dream is to beat Konohamaru and become the 6th Hokage. My idols are Kakashi, Mei, Gaara and Killer Bee. Stated Izumi, he was wearing basically the opposite of Shisui, a blue turtleneck, white pants and white shinobi sandals. Okay Izumi, I can help you with the tailed beast thing as I'm getting pretty close to controlling mine. Remi, you're last to go. I'm Remi Shiranui. I like my dad Genma and training. I dislike Hanabi and fangirls. My goal is to make Jonin and join my father as the Hokage's bodyguards. My dream is to become the next #1 kunoichi in the world just like Tsunade Senju, Kushina Uzumaki and Mei Terumi. My idols are Sakura Haruno, Haku Momochi and Mei Terumi stated Remi, her piercing brown eyes showing just how serious she was. Have you met Mei or Tsunade yet? Or even Sakura or Haku? Questioned Naruto. No, but my dad said that Kushina-sama was really nice and extremely strong. He told me that she was Uncle Raito-sensei. Stated Remi. Naruto just nodded and turned around, facing towards the hospital. Hey Bachan. Is that a wrinkle? Suddenly a cloud of smoke and dust shot towards the academy. In about 3 seconds, Tsunade Senju stood before them in all her pissed off, not so feminine beauty. Wanna repeat that Gaki? Sounded like you said I had a wrinkle. Hey Bachan, I was just trying to get you here to meet one of your biggest fans. Bachan, Remi Shiranui. Remi, meet the old hag. Lady Tsunade. I'm so sorry for our sensei. Cried out Remi. Meanwhile, both Shisui and Izumi had gotten their hugs from the blonde Sannin, something they had been doing since they all moved into the Namikaze mansion. Hey Gakis, how you been? Still causing trouble? Yay, Izumi asked out Kena-sensei yesterday. Announced Shisui. Oh? And just how did that go? Asked Tsunade. She knew her fellow blonde rather well, as Kena had tried out to be a medic, but for whatever reason, couldn't use medical chakra to its fullest. He asked her to a bowl of ramen and night on the town, she turned him down. Stated Shisui, making the huge-chested Sannin laugh. Hey. She didn't turn me down, she said when I was a chunin. Retorted Izumi. Kid, you have about as much tact as Jiraiya. Deadpan Tsunade, though she had a smile in her face, she hated his perverted ways, but she loved his stamina and commitment. Thought you didn't smirked Naruto. Tsunade turned around, murder clear in her eyes. Oh shit. Meet at training ground 7 tomorrow at 8 on the morning, have all your gear. Shouted Naruto as he dodged punch after punch from the angered Sannin. Get back here brat. Back, you angry shit demon. Back I say. Next day, training ground. Remi walked onto the training ground at 7 o'clock, intending to get some training done before the test. She arrived to see her 2 soon-to-be teammates going full out in a no-holds-barred fight. Izumi sent a spinning back fist towards Shisui, only for Shisui to shift in his stance and redirect the strike over his head, sending Izumi off balance. Shisui capitalized, creating some distance and started weaving through hand signs at a speed comparable to a jonin. Lightning style. Try spark jutsu. 3 bolts of lightning shot towards Izumi, only for the young Jinchuruki to pull out 2 very famous swords and redirect the lightning back at Shisui. Hey. We said no kinjutsu. Shouted Shisui. Damn. My bad Shisui, I just acted on instinct, stated Izumi as he returned the swords to his sheath. He then walked towards his brother. Besides, it's not like that was your strongest jutsu, it's not even your strongest lightning jutsu. Yay, but I didn't want to use too much chakra, we have to fight Nai-san in an hour, and I'm not a walking chakra generator like you and Nai-san are. Stated Shisui as he deactivated his Sharingan. Yay, he's in Uzumaki and a Jinchuruki, he probably has more chakra than all of the village put together. Stated Izumi as he noticed Remi and starting walking towards her. He doesn't have that much, I mean yay, he has like 4 times as much as Pervy Sage, but that doesn't mean he has more than all of the village. Stated Shisui. Hi Remi. Ready to fight Nai-san? What are you talking about? Questioned Remi. It's the test he's going to give us, we have to beat him to become a genin team, that's how it's always been for Team 7, and I hear that Sasuke is giving Team 4 the same test. Answered Izumi. What? But Hokage-sama is the strongest ninja in the world. And Sasuke-sama is really strong too. He's Hokage-sama's partner. How is anyone, let alone a genin, supposed to beat either of them? Questioned Remi. Her dad had said that Naruto-sama was even stronger than his dad ever was when he was 13 years old and he had only gotten stronger. Easy, teamwork. 5 hours later. I'm impressed you 3, your teamwork is outstanding. You pass with flying colors, and Konohamaru, please refrain from using the dobe sexy technique. Stated Sasuke, who still had some blood under his nose from the damnable technique. Sasuke-sensei, how come you keep calling Hokage-sama dobe? Asked Yuden. I've always called him that, just like he always calls me team, they're like nicknames. Stated Sasuke. Now if there are no more questions, let's go see how Dobe's brats are doing. Training ground 7. How are we supposed to win? He's not using ninjutsu, kinjutsu, jinjutsu or taijutsu, and we still can't touch him. Cried out Remi as she lay on the ground, exhausted. Well, he isn't the strongest in the world for no reason, besides, me and Izumi still have a trick up our sleeves. Stated Shisui, he and Izumi guarding their downed comrade while she catches her breath. What? More tricks? What are you two? Magicians? Questioned Remi as she regained her bearings and stood up. No, but we are talented. And handsome. And intelligent. And good cooks. And? Enough. I get it. Just do the thing and beat sensei. Cried out Remi. Okay. Izumi, started off. Stated Shisui as he unsheathed his own sword. The legendary sewing needle. Izumi once again pulled out his own swords, the twin thunder swords. How did you two get the swords of the 7 swordsmen of the mist? Questioned Remi. Tell you another time, Shisui, give me 3 seconds. Izumi shot forward towards Naruto. Lightning style. Twin bolts jutsu. Naruto smiled as he dodged the twin bolts. He knew this strategy. Though only because Zabuza had told him about it. The S-class swordsman had been taken by surprise by this tandem attack when he was teaching the kids to use the new swords. As Naruto dodged the lightning, Shisui came flying in from his side with a wicked combo, using his impressive speed and Sharingan to peg Naruto's movements and trap him in a web of stitches. Izumi. Now. Ninjutsu style. Double shock jutsu. Izumi started to convulse with electricity flowing through him. Central disruption. Suddenly, all the electricity that was flowing in Izumi spread out in a sphere of power that shocked everything it came in contact with, shocking both Naruto and Shisui. As Shisui shook violently on the ground, Naruto got up, seemingly unharmed, other than his right arm spasming wildly. Sakura. I think we could use some help. Called out Naruto as he pinned down his arm so that it would stop flailing. Sakura appeared in a swirl of leaves. Naruto. What the hell did you do? They're just genin. 1. This is Azumi's jutsu, not mine. 2. Those two could kick any chunin's ass in this village, and 3. I'm Hokage and I can do what I want. Stated Naruto as he pointed at the pink-haired medic. Unfortunately, it was with a hand that was still spasming, and he ended up smacking himself in the face. Fine. Let me see that arm. Fix my brats first, Azumi's out cold and I'm pretty sure Shisui is about to piss himself. Stated Naruto as his arm started flailing less and less. Oh, and Remi could use some help as well, and she's a big fan of yours. After the team was patched up and Sakura left, Naruto had the group gather around him in front of the post. I'm very disappointed in you 3. Not one of you tried to bribe me with ramen. The 3 genin sweat dropped. Would that really have worked? I mean, you're Hokage. Questioned Remi. Yes, it would have. Now, let's see how you guys did. Come on out. Called out Naruto. The 3 genin looked around when in a swirl of leaves, 3 rather well-known ninja appeared. Might Guy, Kakashi Haddock and Genma Shiranui. You go first Guy. To start off, it's most unyouthful to state they could have bribed their way to passing the test. Stated Guy. Naruto just shrugged. Well then. Shisui and Izumi, your taijutsu is solid but nothing to be proud of. You're low chunin level, but only because you, Shisui, have mastered the Sharingan to the 3 Tomo point and you Izumi, have great speed and power. Remi, from what I saw, you're also very solid in taijutsu, though I believe a different style is in order. As of now, you're not fast or strong enough for the one you use, and you don't have the battle experience needed for any of the styles Naruto-sama knows. All in all, you're solid, but you can be much more youthful. Thank you Guy, you may go now. I believe Sasuke is also done testing his team and will be looking for a good taijutsu match. Stated Naruto, though Guy was gone before the word taijutsu was fully out of his mouth. You're up Kakashi. Alright, I'll start with Remi. Your ninjutsu was rather impressive. Your control is great and while you don't have an element yet, you show great command of all the jutsu I saw you use. Izumi, well you show good use of water and earth jutsu, using the swords you're able to use lightning, though not so effectively. I would suggest choosing one element to master, then move on to the next. Seeing as your tenant gives you already good control of water, I would suggest you get that to at least Jonin level before you try to master earth, and I'd save lightning for last. Shisui, your fire and lightning manipulation show great control, but you oftentimes use a bad ratio of chakra. I'd work on that as much as possible. Stated Kakashi. The kids all nodded. Alright. Thank you Kakashi. You're free to go. stated Naruto. Kakashi poofed away, showing that it was just a shadow clone. Lazy pervert. Alright, what do you think, Genma? Good teamwork, but that's to be expected with this group. All used their heads, even Izumi. Stated Genma, getting a hey from Izumi. Solid strategy, good use of resources. Only problem I can see is that they were fighting the strongest man on the elemental nations. Is stronger. But thanks for the kiss up, Genma. You're dismissed. Genma nodded and disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Alright. No one got a bell. Suo. You all pass. Smiled Naruto. But we didn't get a bell. How did we pass? Asked Shisui. We work together, and that's the most important thing. The Inashikacho team isn't that amazing individually, but as a group, they're amazing. You worked as a team, even though you thought that only 2 of you would pass. Follow me. Naruto moved towards a giant granite stone not far from the training grounds. This is the Kia Monument. Some of the greatest men and women of Konoha are on this stone. My mother and father, Shisui's father, Remi's mother. All great ninja, all on this stone. Truth is, as a ninja, you have a 75% chance of dying in combat. The reason you're placed in teams is to cover your weaknesses and combine your strengths. Teamwork will help you avoid this stone just as much as luck and individual skill would. Meet at this stone tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Your first mission starts then. And Suna. Gaara had changed over the few years he had become Kazekage. First, Tamari had developed an obvious crush on someone, though wouldn't say who. Gaara and Hinata had become a true item, as Naruto would bring Hinata anytime he went to see Gaara, and when Gaara would come to Konoha, he would stay in the Hyuga mansion. Gaara. Can we talk about something? Alone? Asked Tamari shyly, putting the stoic Reed on alert as he motioned his hidden guards out of the room as he activated the silencing seals. What's wrong, Tamari? Questioned Gaara in his emotionless tone. Though she knew that he cared. What's your opinion of Naruto? Asked Tamari. Tamari. What's this about? You know my opinion of him. If you like him, just tell him. Stated Gaara with his same neutral tone. It's not that easy, Gaara. I'm an elite jonin from another hidden village, and he's a Kage, let alone the strongest in the world. Plus he could have any girl he wants. Why would he want me? Questioned Tamari quietly. Gaara got up and looked out the window. Never would have thought the great wind mistress of Suna would be so shy, unconfident, and self-defeating. Maybe I should tell him. I am going to Konoha next week. You wouldn't. Gaara, I really like him. How did you and Hinata start? Asked Tamari. She makes great cookies. Tavern and river country. Are we finally going to start the hunt? Asked the tall blue fish man known as Kisum. Yes. Though because of the 4-village alliance, we must coordinate the attacks. We'll be hunting the 1 and 2 tails first. Deidara and Sasori will hunt the 1 tail. Haiden and Kakuzu will take the 2 tails. But we have to find the right time where they're both out in the open. Stated the ringed-eyed man. How about at the chunin exams? They're being held in Kumo, plus as allies of Kumo, both the Hokage and Kazekage will be there. Plus as we found out, the 3 tails Jinchuruki just graduated from the academy in Konoha, meaning there's a good chance that he will be competing in the exams. Stated Kakazu. Are you really implying that we attack an event where the Hokage, Kazekage, Reikage, 8 tails, 2 tails and more than likely the 3 tails will all be? Even we don't have that kind of firepower. Stated Konan, the only female in the group. To fight the 2 fastest men in the elemental nations, one who can manipulate sand, a man with the full power of a Bijuu, and other Jinchuriki that could possibly have partial control of his Bijuu. It's suicide. Stated Sasori. Not to mention Hokage Sama beat a Bijuu, almost killed Orochimaru, and killed a lot of people in that Kiri war. Toby wants to fight him. Shouted the childish Toby. No. When the time comes I will fight him. He may be the strongest man in the world, but he cannot win against a god. For now, we plan the attack for after the exam, when they're on their way back to their villages. Perhaps we can persuade Iwa to help with the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. For the love of. Shut the hell up, B. Shouted Yujito as she stood next to the rapping Jinchuriki. They were both standing at the gate, waiting for the teams from Suna and Konoha to show up. It was common knowledge that Naruto and Gaara thought of each other as brothers, so unless it was a race, they usually would meet up if they were both traveling somewhere. What's wrong, Miss 2? You got the flu? Questioned B, even though her mind was once again on the white boy. You know damn well that I hate your rapping. And please get ready, Lord Reikage said that our guests would be here right around this time. Stated Yujito as she punched B in the back of the head, though it didn't seem to affect him much. I know why you're acting this way, you've been thinking of that brat Hokage. Stated B in his ever-improving rap. Though he outwardly disrespected most authority figures, such as his brother and Naruto, they were in fact the 2 people he respected most. Shut up. And he's not a brat. I doubt that any woman alive could handle him. stated Yujito with a blush, showing she had been thinking of her fellow blonde in a more than friendly capacity. In a fight. I doubt anyone could handle him in a fight. That may be true, but it's clear you want him missed too. I saw it a year ago and I see it now, he's the only one who could make you meow. Stated B suggestively, turning Yujito's blush from a light pink to a dark red, though that was probably a side product of the rage. I'll kill you. Stated Yujito calmly as she held her hand up, showing that her fingernails had become claws before she became downtrodden. Besides, even if I did like him, he could have any woman he wanted, why would he choose me? Don't get down Miss 2, if you like him, here's what you do. Act like you forgot your money, ask him if he would take you for some food, he'll say yes, because he's way too kind not to, and see if you hit it off. Stated B. You didn't rap that part. Stated Yujito in shock. And that was some pretty good advice. It's not always appropriate to rap, it would be counterproductive in matters of the heart or any of that crap. Rap B, making Yujito sweat drop. B. Asked Yujito, the shades-wearing shinobi turned to his blonde friend if I asked you. Would you go out with me? Oh hell to the no, I wouldn't want you to ruin my flow. Stated B with a silly grin on his face as he looked behind Yujito. Yujito looked confused and downtrodden once again. Besides, why would you want to ask B when you can have me? Rapped a very familiar voice from behind Yujito. Not you too Naruto Nai-sensei. It's bad enough when Killer B does it and Hess kinda good. Stated Shisui, he was now wearing an almost exact replica of his father's Anbu armor, only with an Uzumaki swirl on his back instead of the Uchiha fan. Shut up Shisui. Killer B is the best rapper ever. Shouted Izumi, he was now wearing a Naruto's old Anbu uniform, minus the puppy or fox mask. Remi just sat back and watched her sensei start his lady killer routine. She was wearing her mother's old uniform, which was black tight Anbu pants, a tight dark green long-sleeved t-shirt and a medic's vest. He's not even kind of good. Stated Yujito before her eyes went wide and she spun around, seeing Naruto and his genin team standing just inside the gate, the world-renowned foxy smile that was known to break a girl's heart with a single flash showing on his whiskered face. Hey B, Yujito-chan. You've already met the brats and Remi. Stated Naruto as he motioned to the children around him. He then moved to B and fist bumped. What's up MR9? You looking fine. I'm liking Tobirama's armor, looks great on you partner. Stated B. Wow, you're getting good. You get those rhymes I sent? Asked Naruto. Getting better, but I still can't rap everything. Yeah, I got about a month back, I added them to the rack. Say, how many teams Konoha bring? Asked B. Only 4 this year. Mine, Sasuke's, Neji's and the apprentices making up another team. What about Kumo? Heard you got a ringer this year. Stated Naruto, looking at Yujito, who had fought back her blush. At one, his teammate was critically injured during their last mission, we offered him another genin for his team, but he said it wouldn't be right, so he's sitting this one out and Hess going for the one in Suna. Stated Yujito, still trying to figure out if Naruto had heard what she said, though she couldn't help that her heart fluttered when he called her Chan. That's extremely noble of him. I'd like to meet him during my stay. Stated Naruto as he started walking towards the Raikage Tower. Go with him, I'll wait for the rest of the arrivals. Stated B with a smirk. Yujito gave the large man a hug and ran to catch up. HPH, love birds. Thank God I don't have a fan club. Raikage Tower. I don't care if it's not butter. I can tell the difference. Now get me some real butter for this bagel before I bench press that 1,000-pound dumbbell up your ass. Shouted A as a chunin came flying out of his office, right as Team Naruto and Yujito walked in. Ah, my rival in speed. How was the journey? About 10 seconds. Nah, got it down to 5. But with these 3 with me it took about 7. Stated Naruto as he plopped down in front of his desk. Same as last time. Yep, even got a new desk to handle the pressure. Stated A, removing his cage robe. Yujito, come judge this. Naruto smiled and pulled his own sleeve up, showing his ridiculously sculpted arm. I'm going all out from the start this time. I suggest you do the same. Stated Naruto as he entered Sage mode and activated the 4th level of his Dijutsu, making his body bulk up instantly from the muscle-enhancing effect, making Yujito blush at the sight Naruto's biceps. Activated his lightning release armor to its fullest level. The amount of power in the room was enough to shatter all the windows and alert every ninja in the village that something big was going to happen. Naruto and A got into position, locking hands and placing their elbows on the table. Okay, on 3 stated Yujito, her eyes glued to Naruto's biceps. Both men nodded. 1, 2, 3. It was over in a fraction of a second, the desk shattered and A was sent flying across the room, through the wall, and out into the city. Yujito sighed as Darui walked lazily into the room and looked at the remaining blondes. Arm wrestling again. Yes stated Yujito with a sigh. Don't worry, I'll tell Mabui. Alright. Nice to see you again, Hokage-sama. Stated Darui lazily as he strolled out of the cage's office. He's just as lazy as the Nara. Stated Naruto. Forgot my money. You wouldn't mind taking me out to lunch, would you, Hokage-sama? Asked Yujito, sounding a lot more confident than she felt. Naruto scratched his chin for a moment before he disappeared in a flash of yellow. Yujito felt her heart drop that he had rejected her until she found a pair of arms around her waist. I'd love to. Hold on. Ichiraku Ramen. Naruto flashed into view just outside of Ichiraku Ramen, a slight eep came from Yujito's mouth as she clung to Naruto, her heart pounding as hard as ever. Naruto. Stop scaring people. Came a loud shout from inside the room as a frying pan flew out of the kitchen and drilled Naruto in the forehead. Naruto grew pale when he saw her holding up a meat cleaver. Now come get some ramen. Yes, Suddenly, Yujito was sitting next to Naruto in a small food stand that she didn't recognize, the scent of fish and salt filling the air. So you're having the usual. And what can I get you? You're a girl. Stated Am with shock, seeing a beautiful younger woman next to Naruto. Naruto never took a girl to ramen. What is this? Some kind of trick. Yujito didn't know what to say, so she just stared at the ramen cook, waiting for some clarification. This is Yujito Nai, a jonin from Kumo. Yujito, this is the annoying ramen cook. Stated Naruto with a goofy grin, and before you ask, no, she's not my girlfriend. Yujito slightly deflated at that, Naruto noticed, but didn't comment. After took their orders, Naruto spoke up. I did hear what been said, by the way. It's not every day that I hear one of the most beautiful women in the world say that they have feelings for me. You heard that, huh? Stated Yujito, fearing the worst. Yay, and I got to say. I'm kind of offended. Stated Naruto, getting a shocked look from Yujito. I've known you like me for about 3 years now, and you never made your move. I figured you were bolder than that. I just wanted. Huh. Wait. What? You knew this whole time? Questioned Yujito as Naruto dropped some money on the table, made a clone that grabbed both of their food and flashed away. What th? On top of the Hokage monument. The two Narutos and Yujito appeared on top of Tobirama's head, where a table and chairs were already set up. Naruto carried Yujito to her spot at the table and sat her down in front of her sushi. Like the view? A week later, Kumo Arena. Wow, 4 of 5. Not bad. Stated Naruto as he flashed into the box that held the cages. He took his seat, which was directly behind Gaara. His guards were Sasuke and Neji, seeing as Sasuke was his technical bodyguard and both had a team competing. I would not miss my apprentice's team being promoted. Stated Gaara in his usual emotionless tone. Gaara sat in the front right chair of the box, Tamari and Baki being his guards, were stationed in his corner. Tamari was constantly staring at Naruto, though he didn't seem to notice, but a few others did. I may like my own privacy from time to time, but I have to keep you brats in check. Stated A jokingly from his spot next to Gaara, Yujito and B his guards. B was looking out a window, and Yujito was looking at the Suna blonde and the Mizukage with a calculating eye. Oh? And just who are you calling a brat? Questioned Mei from her spot next Naruto. Her guards were Ao and Chijiro. Ao was currently ranting about teenagers, Chijiro was polishing the only sword of the 7 swordsmen left in Kiri, as 4 were in Konoha, Kisame still had his, and the battle axe had been taken by its master and hasn't been seen since. You're kind of bratty. Stated Naruto, who received a bop on the head from the Mizukage, though Naruto used it to his advantage and pretended to be knocked out, his face buried in Mei's cleavage. Shall we get this started? Asked A as he stood up, wondered if he should use that move on Mabui and moved to the railing of the booth. Citizens, ninja, daimos and future clients. Welcome to the chunin exams. A loud roar echoed through the stadium as the crowd grew restless. Now to explain the rules. Unlike other exams, all 3 stages of this exam will be battles. The first stage will be team battles, the second stage will be all who lost in the first stage in one-on-one battles. The third stage will also be single battles, tournament style. After the end of the second round, each contestant to pass the first 2 rounds will draw a number to find out their opponent. The last fighter standing will be named the winner of the chunin exams, though any participant can be named chunin. Now let the first round begin. As A sat back down, Gaara spoke up. I must say, I thoroughly enjoy this style exam. Much more efficient than my chunin exam was. Yay, ours was pretty bad. Stated Naruto. In the arena. The proctor of the first round was Dari, the Raikage's second in command, also the laziest ninja outside of the Nara clan. Would Team 15 from Mist and Team 4 from Kumo come down to the arena? Page box. Anyone want to make a wager? Asked Naruto, a mischievous glint in his eyes. What would it be? Asked Gaara. I bet that my team wins, no matter the opponent. Stated Naruto. I'm not touching that bet. stated Mei, knowing enough about that team to stay away. Same here, stated both Gaara and A at the same time. You guys are no fun. 2 hours later. Would Team 7 from Konoha and Team 12 from Iwa please come down? Iwa? They sent a team? Asked Gaara. Yes, 2 teams in fact, though from what I've seen of them, it's their 2 best. Stated A. Naruto, your team is facing the weaker team. Doesn't matter. My team will win. Stated Naruto. Down in the arena. We may not be able to kill the son of the Yellow Flash, but you 3 will have to do. Stated a burly Iwa genin. Izumi and Shisui looked at each other and began giggling. What's so damn funny? Remi replied for her teammates, all 3 of your chakra reserves don't even come close to Izumi's, not even if you combine them. We have a close range, mid-range and long-range fighter, and you're all talk. And we're fast. And strong. And smart. And handsome. And enough. Begin. Team Naruto got into their base formation, which is a triangle with Izumi and Shisui in the front and Remi in the back. Delta. Called out Shisui as each member chose a target and attacked. Izumi charged the biggest Iwa genin and in a show of amazing power, delivered a punch that broke through the guard of the Iwa genin and landed on his nose, breaking it. The Iwa genin stumbled back in pain and got caught behind the knees with a low leg sweep before Izumi twisted into a handstand and delivered a thunderous heel to the genin's jaw. Izumi then caught him by his foot and slammed him into the ground, knocking him out cold, that is if he even survived that kick to the jaw. Shisui was less power and more speed. He picked the shortest genin who was fairly pudgy to be his victim. The genin didn't stand a chance as Shisui delivered about 50 hits in 5 seconds, literally beating the genin into a pile on the ground. Remi took the final member of the Iwa team, a tall female with dark red hair. While Remi wasn't the strongest or fastest on the team, she was by far the most technical. She started with a huge right hook that twisted into a spinning elbow to the Kenoichus ribs. It was all downhill from there as she systematically hit pressure points and joints, disabling the Iwa genin to the point she could no longer move. Wow, Remi-chan. And I thought Izumi was bad. Laughed Shisui. Winners, Team 7 of Konoha. Top tier of the stadium. The Sanbi container is outstandingly strong. Around Jonin level if I had to guess. Stated the taller of the 2. Who gives a fuck? We can take him out, it's clear he's a Taijutsu expert and we both are too, we'd beat the little fuck easily. Stated the shorter one. Aiden, you idiot, we've only seen one of his skills. Besides, his sensei is the Kyuubu container. He could easily be an A-rank shinobi. Page Booth. But god. That didn't even take a minute. Stated Mei, shocked at the level of skill displayed by Naruto's students. I didn't expect them to all be Taijutsu experts. Stated A, especially with you as their teacher. They're not. Izumi is the closest thing to a Taijutsu expert on the team and he's better with Kenjutsu and Ninjutsu, though he likes to stay up close. Stated Naruto. Shisui is a ninjutsu expert, he's been spending time with me and Kakashi learning as many jutsu as he can, has probably around 200 and he's shown remarkable ability with the sewing needle. Remi's the total package. She's roughly the same level in everything, her better two though are Taijutsu and Bujutsu. The rest of the cages just turned to him and stared. Later, after last match. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen for attending the first round. Please come back tomorrow for the beginning of one-on-one matches. Called out A. Naruto and Gaara were discussing the matches, saying which contestants were closest to being promoted. Mei was busy splitting her time between eyeing up Naruto and lightly glaring at the other girls in the room, staring at the blonde Hokage. Yay, I agree that your apprentice deserves to get promoted based on skill, but the girl is just too timid. She's like a mini Hinata, but without the chi. Naruto was cut off when Gaara began flooding the area with killing intent and sand. A crazy look retook his eye, much like back before Naruto fixed his seal. Too mean, she's like Hinata, but without the cherub-like face. Gaara relaxed and nodded. Her cookies are great as well. Stated Gaara with a perverted smile on his face. So big and soft. I'm just going to leave you alone for a little while. Stated Naruto as he slowly moved away from the now drooling Reteed. I wonder who made the first move in that game of cat and mouse. Naruto was on his way down to congratulate his team when he felt a dark and ominous presence behind him. He turned to see Mei, Yujito and Tamari all gazing at each other, then to him. Just as they all started moving towards him, he smiled and flashed away. The girls all looked to each other before Mei said, he has the stamina for all of us. With Team Naruto. Wow, Izumi, that guy still isn't up, I think that kick killed him. Stated Remi. Nah, his neck didn't snap or anything, plus he was twitching for a while, he'll be fine. The team and most of the other Genin and Jonin instructors in the room spun around and either stood in awe of the man who spoke or in contempt. Hey pervy sensei, you really think that guy's going to be okay? Asked Remi. Anyone not from Konoha was shocked that a 9-year-old girl would speak to the man that was considered the strongest man in the world, as if he was some pervert. Really, Remi? What happened to my faithful student who worshipped the ground I walked on? Asked Naruto. His stern Anbu voice showing through. You taught us water walking in the ladies' side of the hot spring. Shouted Remi. Many of the men giggled while some of the women started to glare at Naruto, other females began thinking of Naruto in a bathing suit, or even some of the more perverse ones imagined him without anything on. And who learned water walking in 15 minutes? Questioned Naruto. That's because I had to save Shisui and Izumi from being beaten to death. Shouted Remi. How do you think I learned? Pervy Sage dropped me in a female's only hot springs after he locked all the doors and slipped me a Viagra. Shouted Naruto. Many females became red in either anger or from a blush, though several passed out. And how many numbers did you get out of that? Questioned Izumi. I think 5. Strangely enough that's how I meet Anko. Stated Naruto. Exactly, pervy sensei. Stated Remi. Oh? Maybe Genma should know about the date you had with Shisui. Asked Naruto, both Genin blushed. Yay, both of you shut up. All hail Lord Naruto. Shut up Izumi. Later that night. After dodging multiple women for about 4 hours, Naruto found himself in his hotel room, which was the penthouse. He was assigned a room with Shisui and Izumi, but decided to give them their space. After all, Shisui and Remi were sharing a room, and Izumi was busy working on a new jutsu he had thought of, which was surprising, considering Izumi rarely thought at all, let alone on new jutsu. Naruto stepped out onto the balcony of his hotel room to get some fresh air and was immediately surrounded by the 3 powerful chakra signatures. I see. You're finally making your move. Do you 3 really think that you're enough to catch me? Questioned Naruto as he got ready for anything they could hope to throw at him. No, but we have another plan. One we believe even the great Biju killer can't escape. Oh, and what would that be? Questioned Naruto as he was grabbed from behind and dragged into his hotel room. Way. Stated Mei sexily into his ear while Tamari and Yujito closed the door and the blinds. Wow, I think it's safe to say this will be the most exciting teamwork of all time. He woke with a start, pouring sweat and breathing heavily. Why was he reliving these events recently? Why did it have to be that event again? Any of the other beatings were fine, but why did he always relive that night? The night in question was the night he had been raped and tortured by several members of the Uchiha clan, and every time he relived it, he was glad that the Uchiha clan was basically dead. Although on some fucked up level, he was glad that it happened, because if it didn't, he might have never met Itachi and Shisui. Flashback. Naruto lay on the couch in the Hokage's office, not moving an inch. One of the Anbu females, a young girl named Yugao, was comforting him. It had been several days since that horrible night, and no matter what the Hokage tried, he just couldn't snap Naruto out of it. He couldn't really blame the young child. Anyone going through what he did at the hands of those despicable Uchiha would be in the same situation. Especially someone as innocent as Naruto. It wasn't hard for him to understand why Naruto would only allow physical contact with females in old Sarutobi. Well. As innocent as he was. Thought the rapidly aging Hokage the Uchiha clan has become a liability. Perhaps Danzo was right. Outside of Itachi and Shisui, none of them are very impressive. Even Mikoto and Fugaku are only as strong as Kakashi, and he's more skilled with their eye than almost every one of them. They were brought out of their silence when 2 young men appeared in swirls of leaves. Itachi and Shisui reporting, all members of our clan responsible for the rape have been hunted down and burned alive. Stated Shisui, who then looked at the young blonde laying on the couch, no emotions in his eyes, no fear of the Uchiha in the room, no happiness that had usually adorned his face. Just emptiness. Lord Hokage. Might I try a special genjutsu on Naruto that could help break him of his current mindset? Asked Shisui, a pained look in his eyes. Yes. Please help him. No child should live like this. Cried out the aged man. Shisui channeled chakra to his eyes and locked eyes with Naruto. Tsukiyomi. Called out Shisui. Naruto suddenly found himself in a mostly black and white world. What is this jutsu he is using Itachi? Questioned Sarutobi, ready to end the young Uchiha should he hurt Naruto any worse. It's a forbidden technique of the Uchiha clan. As far. And Tsukiyomi. Red eyes. But yours are different, your dots connect. What do you want from me? Haven't you put me through enough? Questioned a dead-sounding Naruto, though there was a surprising amount of fire in the young boy's eyes. I'm here to try and undo the mental damage done to you by my despicable clan members. Stated Shisui in a calming tone, though even young Naruto could hear the resentment behind it. Why? All you Uchiha have ever done is harm me. What makes you different? And where is the other Uchiha? I know you did not move me, so he is sitting in the same room as my body. Stated Naruto, slowly showing more frustration. Good, he's showing emotion again. Though it's anger. That might cause a problem. thought Shisui Naruto. How did you know that this is not a physical place? Easy, the only way for the sky to be black and for me to see in black and white is from a genjutsu. Seeing as you are an uchiha and you have that odd Sharingan activated, I can only assume that you have me in a genjutsu and that you plan on hurting me. Stated Naruto, back to his emotionless tone. How do you know all of this? You're not yet in the academy and you are 5. Stated Shisui. After the attack during my second birthday, I started researching to become stronger. Unfortunately, because I'm only a civilian and a hated one at that, I only have the knowledge of an average chunin. And physically I'm about as good as a high-level academy student. Stated Naruto, taking a breath. Shisui was amazed, this 5-year-old was advanced way beyond his years. Even the great Kakashi Haddock was still a genin at this age. Naruto, this is not an ordinary genjutsu. It's a bloodline genjutsu cast only by the eyes of those who have killed their most precious person. Many of the Uchiha had unlocked it on purpose, I however did it on accident when I mortally wounded my teammate in a training accident. Stated Shisui, taking a short break. Now Naruto, I'd like to remove the mental damage done to your brain. You will still remember it, but you will no longer have fear of Itachi, as he was the one who saved you from death that night, and hopefully you won't fear me as well. I will do my best, but I have only done this once, and it may take some time. Hokage office. As I know, Shisui is the only one who can do it. Finished Itachi. As Shisui's head snapped back, Naruto slumped over into Yugao's chest, making the other males in the room jealous. Yugao blushed, as even hate hadn't touched her like this yet. It's done, he'll never fully recover, but it's a start. Before I pass out, I request to be the boy's teacher. Very advanced. Smart. Said an out-of-breath Shisui as he fell to the floor, quickly bowling up and fell asleep. Sleepy. Hard to believe he's the grandson of the man that helped found this village. Stated Sarutobi. But I suppose I can start his training early. Flash forward within a flashback. Once again, Naruto was in the Hokage's office, though this time, it was for a rather happy reason. Today was the unofficial start of Naruto's ninja training. Naruto, how are you feeling? Asked the Hokage. It was 2 days ago that Kakashi had found him in an alleyway. Sarutobi truly was disgusted that any man of his village would do such a thing to anyone, let alone a 6-year-old. After Kakashi had broken down the door to a council meeting and signed the adoption papers for Naruto, the council said they would only allow it if an Uchiha trained him to keep him loyal to the village. I never said they were smart people. I'm alright, Gigi. Kakashi-sama let me stay with him until he moves me in next door to his apartment. Stated Naruto in an even tone, not overly excited, but not downtrodden. A true testament to how far he had come. Sama? Questioned Kakashi, who was leaning against the doorframe. Yay, you saved me from that guy and let me stay with you. You're the only person I respect enough to call Sama. Stated Naruto smiling. Well, I guess Shisui and Itachi too, but they're more like brothers. What about me, Naruto? Don't you respect me? Asked Hiruzen. But Gigi, you asked me not to call you Sama. You said it made you feel old. Stated a confused Naruto. We're not interrupting, are we? Asked a monotone voice behind Kakashi. Ah, Itachi, Guy and Shisui. Good to see you on time. Stated the Hokage, sending a small glare at the young Haddock, who was still 2 hours late to the set time. Naruto, meet your senseis. Flashback end. That was the day my life changed. That and when that asshole nearly killed me when I was 6. Thought Naruto before he felt a tug from something on his arm. Naruto-kun. Is something wrong? Asked Yujito from her spot at his side, her impressive assets hidden by the blanket over her. Her eyes still slightly swollen from when she had been uppercut by Naruto's third arm. Did you have a nightmare? Asked Mei from her spot on the other side of Naruto. There was no blanket on her side. Naruto got a small nosebleed from the sight of both Mei and Yujito, naked as the day they were born, both holding him like a teddy bear. Last time I woke up with 2 girls in my bed was when Anko. Wait. 2 girls. Hey, where's Tamari? Down here came a voice from under the covers before Naruto's eyes rolled back. Well, we can't let her have all the fun, can we? Questioned Mei as she too sunk down under the covers, followed quickly by Yujito. 5 hours later, cage booth. Naruto and his 3 female companions flashed into the cage booth and took their spots. All 3 girls limping rather severely, Yujito with a slight black eye from when she had been meat-slapped by the young Hokage. So, am I going to have any young Namikazes running around my village anytime soon? Questioned A with a smirk as Yujito and Naruto blushed. I had to admit, having the kids of his biggest rivals was rather appealing. I will kill you if you hurt her. Stated Gaara, once again letting his old self shine through, crazy smile and all. No problem, Gaara. Stated Naruto as he took his seat next to Mei. Back in my day. Let's just start the show, shall we? 6 hours later. Thank you for coming to the second round of the Kumo Chunin exams. We will be having the finals in 1 week, so please enjoy the village attractions and the contestants are free to use training fields 1028. Stated A in his booming voice. He then turned around and looked to Naruto. Naruto, would you please join me in my office, we have something to discuss. You're dead dope. Stated Sasuke bluntly from the corner. Neji had already left to check on Hanabi, who most likely would have to withdraw. Yeah, MR9, the least you could have done is wine and dine. Stated B. First of all, I have gone on a couple of dates with both Yujito and Mei. What about Tamari? Questioned Sasuke. Would both of you shut up? In A's office. Naruto. What do you know of inter-village marriages? Questioned A, staring out the window. Considering it's only been done once and between my great-grand-aunt and my predecessor, I would like to think I know a lot. Stated Naruto. How would you like for Yujito to become a Jounin of Konoha? Questioned A seriously. I'd love it, both as a leader and as a person. But we both know that for that to happen you would need to cut her ties from Kumo. Stated Naruto to himself, before his eye widened. Exactly. We both know that right now the biggest target for that blasted Akatsuki is Yujito. Gaara has outstanding control of his Biju, young Izumi can control 2 tails, the 4 and 5 tails are held up in Iwa, no one knows where the 6 tails is, Takashi Jinchuriki is said to live in the most fortified part of the village, B has complete control in you. Well, let's face it, you may be the strongest man in the world. Stated A, I love her like a daughter and I know that she will be safer in Konoha than she will here. Plus she really has feelings for you. A, are you absolutely sure about this? Questioned Naruto. My people may love me now, but Jinchuriki are not exactly well liked there. Yes, but only after you prove you are in fact stronger than me. Said A with a smirk. Unknown location. You called us, Leader Sama? Questioned Kakazu. Yes. We are not to attack the Kumo Chunin exams. Instead we will all be training and building funds. Stated Pain. But you said if Tobi was a good boy, then Tobi would get to fight. Tobi has been a good boy. Yes, I know, you're a good boy, Tobi. However, we have received word from our spies that Hiruzen Sarutobi, Asuma Sarutobi and Inoki will all be attending the finals. Stated Pain. So what? The old cocksuckers are way past their prime and Asuma is the weakest of that little group. Stated Haiden before he was smacked in the back of the head by Kakazu. The third Hokage was and still is known as the god of shinobi. He held off the first and second Hokage as well as Orochimaru at the age of 67. He has no weak area, his nin, gen, tai and bijutsu, as well as his speed and strength, are all Kage level. Stated Pain seriously. When he was in his prime, he could have even defeated me. He is not to be underestimated. Same with Inoki. How are we to train? There's no one that can give us a challenge that isn't from Konoha, a Jinchuriki or a Kage. Stated Kisame. Simple. We're going to get our ring back from Orochimaru. 1 week and a lot of debauchery later. Hey, old man. You made it. Called out Naruto. Hiruzen Sarutobi, aka the god of shinobi, moved towards Naruto with a smile on his face. Hello my boy, how have the exams been going? Real well, my whole team and your grandson are all in the final 8, from what I can tell, your grandson has a great chance of winning it all, as Remi and Shisui will have to fight at some point. Stated Naruto. Nah, Kono is good, but Izumi is high chunin or low jonin level, he'll win this tournament. Stated Asuma, who had come with his father to watch his nephew. Maybe, let's get to the arena shall we? Kage booth. Seems the new generation of Kages get younger and younger. And I thought that Brat Minato would hold the title of youngest Kage for years to come. Stated Inoki. Yes, I must agree with you, you old fossil, I was as shocked as you are that I was the youngest Kage ever named. Fitting that my father held that title before me. Stated Naruto with a smirk. You should learn respect, boy. You might be the youngest Kage ever, but I am the most experienced. Stated Inoki. Hate to burst your bubble Inoki Dono. Stated A, but there is not a man in this world stronger than Hokage Dono. And if you really want to go off of achievements, he once again beats all of us to the punch. Yes, he defeated me when I was fully possessed by my Biju, defeated the first and second Hokage whilst driving off Orochimaru. He also defeated over 7,000 enemy units in one battle, 19,000 over the course of 2 weeks. Listed of Gaara. Be that as it may, I still believe that no one as young as you two should be Kage. Stated Inoki Rakage Dono, let's start the show. Welcome to the finals of the Kumo Chunin exams. Would everyone please take your seats, the finals begin now. Shouted A. Down on the arena floor, Darui stood impassively, waiting for the crowd to settle down. First match of the finals, would Izumi Namikaze of Konoha and Samui Nai of Kumo please come down for the first match? Kick some ass Izumi. You better not lose. Threatened Shisui. I got this. Shouted Izumi as he disappeared in a torrent of water, reappearing on the field in the same torrent of water. Damn, so not cool. stated Samui as she simply jumped down to the arena. Page Booth. Well, how do you think she'll do? She's a very experienced and skilled fighter. Questioned May, who had taken a liking to the busty young woman. If it had been anyone else in this exam, I would say she would win, however, young Izumi is very talented in almost every field. Add his control over the Sambi, and he is at least mid-jonin level. Samui is good, but not that good. Stated A in a neutral tone, though everyone knew that he was angry that his star genin had been given the worst possible matchup. Well, Izumi is forbidden to use his Bijuu in this exam, that also limits his Taijutsu and Ninjutsu. And Samui is a very skilled lightning user, which is strong versus Azumi's water and earth. It will be close. Stated Naruto. Inoki just stared down at the young boy on the field, wondering how strong the student of the Bijuu killer is. Back on the field. Begin. Earth style. Spear Dragon Jutsu. Shouted Izumi, unleashing a B-rank jutsu of the bat. Lightning style. Shock Wall Jutsu. Called out Samui, blocking and nullifying the dragon and at the same time getting ready to launch into a taijutsu bout. Izumi rushed in and threw a huge spin hook kick, which was blocked by Samui's forearm. Samui countered with a huge left hook which connected to Azumi's outstretched leg, forcing him to retreat. She hits harder than Shisui. I think I'm in love. Stated Izumi to himself as he sent water chakra to his thigh to relax the muscles. Water style. Coral Wave Palm. Lightning style. Shock Wall Jutsu. Earth style. Swamp of the Underworld. Samui found herself ankle deep in what could only be described as muck and quickly sinking. Page Booth. I'm impressed, by soaking the area around her, it caused the swamp to become even more porous than usual. Stated Gaara. She's done, not even I can fight a jutsu of that degree for long and be effective. Stated May. Sorry Miss May, but Samui gonna be just fine. Stated B. You know that didn't rhyme, right? Asked Yujito with a smirk. The last rap may not have been fly, but how did you get that black eye? Question B, getting a giggle from May, a faraway look from Tamari, and a deep blush from Yujito. Did I miss something? Questioned Inoki. Naruto laughed nervously as everyone looked at him. Back in arena. Forfeit. Stated Izumi. That wouldn't be very cool. Stated Samui as she started to spark with electricity lightning style armor. Azumi's eyes widened as he looked at the 15-year-old girl that was using the legendary lightning release armor. It was official, he was in love. Samui powered out of the muck and shot towards Izumi at speeds most chunins would kill for, actually staying on top of the muck and threw a punch that was narrowly avoided as Izumi cancelled the swamp. Izumi unsealed his swords from his wrists and started to channel chakra into the twin blades as they started to spark with electricity. Samui wasted no time in drawing her short sword and charging the brunette. The two meet in a blur as a loud clang was heard, only for Izumi to spin, getting inside her guard and land a slash across her left eye, cutting through the armor and leaving a shallow cut before retreating and regrouping. Samui was sweating, not only did the lightning release armor take up a lot of chakra, it also took a huge amount of concentration to maintain the correct amount of distribution actions the whole body. She just wasn't good enough to keep up the jutsu and fight a kinjutsu duel at the same time. She deactivated the armor and charged her sword with lightning chakra and rushed again. Once again Izumi blocked the strike with one sword and swiped at her shoulder with the other, though this time she leaned back and let it slip past. Though she wasn't ready for him to once again spin inside her guard and catch her in the gut with a hard elbow. Give up, you're out of options. Stated Izumi from behind her, one sword on her throat, the other pointed at her heart. So not cool. Proctor, I forfeit. Stated Samui with a sigh as she fell to the ground, exhausted. She let out an ep. When she found herself being picked up bridal style by her opponent, who she glared at. Great match. Let me help you up to the medical box. Stated Izumi kindly, the patented Namikaze grin on his face. Samui was about to decline, but something told her to just let it happen. Alright, but no funny business. All in all, it was somewhat cute, watching a 9-year-old boy carrying a 15-year-old girl. Page box. So the lightning release armor, huh? I'm surprised a genin would have such a trump card. Stated Naruto. What is it with all you Namikazes being lady killers? Questioned A, who was watching Izumi carry his genin to the medical bay. I must agree, it must be the name. Stated Gaara. Actually, it's that smile that seems to get passed down. Field. Would Konohamaru Sarutobi and Shisui Uzumaki uchiha please make their way down to the field? A swirl of fire and a bolt of lightning later, both boys were standing at center stage. Never thought I'd be facing you in the finals. Stated Shisui as he took up his father's custom stance. Sensei says that you're very gifted with the Sharingan, but you're nowhere near Sensei or Itachi-sama. Stated Konohamaru. Second fight of the finals, begin. Shisui charged, forming hand signs as he went. Lightning style. Light pillar jutsu. In an instant, Konohamaru was blinded by the intense light. Okay, I can't see, and he's an ninjutsu and jinjutsu specialist. I need my staff. Thought Konohamaru as he pulled the staff of his back and charged it with earth chakra, along with covering his eyes halfway with his headband. Fire style. Burning ash jutsu. Out of the young Sarutobi's mouth came a rapidly expanding ash cloud, quickly covering the whole area. Shisui quickly channeled a large amount of lightning chakra to his left foot before stomping it into the ground, creating a large shower of dust before dropping into said hole. Fire style. Flash fire jutsu. Called out Konohamaru as set off the ash cloud, in case you're wondering, it's Asuma's jutsu. Causing a huge explosion. Page booth. Impressive tactics on both parts. By starting the explosion with a low-level jutsu, he made sure that almost no backlash would get him, while Shisui buried himself, and by using lightning chakra, he set up his next move. Stated Naruto, while almost everyone in the room agreed. Except of course for the Tsuchikage now who was quietly ranting about how kids in his day. Back on the field. The smoke cleared to show scorched earth and a deep crater. Shisui rocketed out of the crater, his sewing needle sword held in front of him and his sharingan blazing. Konohamaru pulled his staff into a sword-like position and went straight to a fence as he started spinning the staff while swiping at Shisui. Somewhere in the audience. Your son is very impressive. To be able to fight at this level at such a young age. Stated a cloaked man. Yay. Imagine if I had been able to raise him myself or even his mother hadn't died. Stated the second cloaked figure. Back in the arena. Shisui flashing through signs fire style. Blaze dragon. Earth style. Golem's gates. Shouted Konohamaru as a giant wall exploded out of the ground and clashed with the fire dragon. Earth style. Golem's birth. Rocks were pulled from the ground and started to form around the young Sarutobi. Shit. I'm going to have to use it early. Remi's going to be so pissed. Chakra started to build up in Shisui right hand, building up to a huge level before it started sparking, tearing chunks of earth away from the ground as he charged the golem that was Konohamaru. Shisui took a step towards his opponent, slipping under a haymaker, only to be forced back by a kick. Shunshin Shisui disappeared from Konohamaru's vision only for him to sense a huge amount of chakra behind him. Lightning style. Fist of the Thunder God. It was a solid hit to Konohamaru's lower back, shredding apart the golem and sending him flying into the wall. With a loud, sickening thud, Konohamaru made contact with the wall and slid down it, leaving a trail of blood down the side of the wall. Winner. Shisui Uzamaki uchiha. Shouted Derry, his visible eyes still wide from the force of the punch. Medic. But the Sarutobis. Let's go check on Konohamaru, shall we? Asked Hiruzen, extremely proud of both his grandson for being able to form the golem at such a young age, and Shisui, who was on par with his father at an age older than he was now. Page booth. That's my nephew. Cheered May. Your nephew? Why would your nephew be in Konoha? Questioned Inoki. His mother, my half-sister, was killed fending off a bloodline hater faction. Shisui ran away, hopped a boat to Wave, and Naruto-kun adopted him and little Izumi. I allowed him to stay in Konoha because it's where his father is from. Stated May. Arena floor. Would Mitsuri and Remi Shiranui please come down to the field? Called out Derry. Page booth. I'm interested to see how well you've trained your apprentice. There's no doubt she's skilled. Stated May. Yes. To beat my granddaughter's team, she must be skilled. Stated Inoki. She is the strongest genin I have. Once her confidence issues were worked out, she became quite the fighter. Stated Gaara thought Remi shares the same fields of expertise. On the field. Begin. Remi and Mitsuri both launched a handful of kunai, each deflecting the others. Remi pulled out another kunai and started charging wind chakra into it, creating a blade that was roughly 2 feet long. You can use wind chakra? Questioned Mitsuri. Yep. Although, unlike my team and sensei, I only have one element, so I have to make it stronger. Stated Remi as she extended her wind blade another foot. Mitsuri smirked and pulled out what looked to be a kunai handle without the blade. Let's see whose wind is stronger. A 2.5-foot blade of wind grew from the handle, and both girls charged at each other. Page box. That makes 3 wind users in Konoha. An impressive compliment to your fire-based attacks. Stated Inoki. It was quite a surprise, but wind users still make up the least of our ninja. Sad too, as I won't have anyone to pass my wind techniques down to. Stated Naruto. You're not going to teach them to Remi? Questioned May. Even though I want to, she'll never be able to do the ones I created. You need elite Jonin level reserves just to do the wind release Rasengan, and even then, you would be in the brink of chakra exhaustion, explained Naruto. I know how you feel. The dust release needs cage level reserves just to fuse the 3 elements. Stated Inoki. So far I've only had one apprentice that had the ability to even think about using it. What happened? Asked Gaara. He killed his captain and fled the village. Arena floor. Remi was on the defensive as she blocked and parried any slasher stab coming at her. She had to admit, Mitsuri was good. Come on. No one can keep up an completely offensive gameplan for this long. Thought Remi. There. Remi blocked a horizontal slash and spun inside, launching an elbow into Matsura's face, followed by a heel kick to her exposed ribs. Mitsuri felt at least 2 of her ribs snap from the pressure of the attack. Remi continued her systematic breakdown of her opponent with a punch to the solar plex, a spin kick her right shoulder, a palm strike to her stomach, and finally a shallow slash to her right thigh that would keep her from moving at top speed. Give up. Or I will kill you. Stated Remi, standing over Mitsuri with her wind blade pointed at her throat. Mitsuri smirked and fell to pieces, showing it was just a mud clone. Remi lunged to the side to avoid being cut in half by a wind blade. They're quick. Stated the Suna Kunoichi. You too, but I need to end this. Stated Remi as she formed 3 deals and started to glow blue. Uzumaki style, blur step. In an instant, Remi was gone, a streak of blue was seen circling Mitsuri as multiple small cuts appeared on her arms and legs. Forfeit. I could have killed you 6 times over. Damn it. Fine. Proctor, I forfeit. Page Booth. She definitely deserves to be chunin. Stated Naruto. Her wind manipulation is top-notch, her technique is near flawless, and she shows incredible planning. Indeed, the only problem I see is that she was facing a superior opponent. Stated May. Might I ask where she learned the Earth clone? It takes quite a bit of skill to use it at such a high level. Questioned Inoki. She recreated it after reading a couple of history books. Surprised me the first time she used it. Kankuro almost shit himself. Stated Gaara. Back in arena. Final match of the first round. Would Sai and Tririn please come down to the field? Called out Derry. The very pale boy with a sound headband on landed in the middle of the arena, followed quickly by a very tan boy with an Iowa headband. Fight. Called Derry as he moved away, just in time to avoid a huge wall of earth that crashed down on Sai. Pathetic. For you to think you could beat a shinobi of Iowa. Stated Tririn as he moved away, only to have to dodge black and white tigers that descended from the sky, which in turn were crushed under another wall of rock. Tririn looked to the sky to see a giant black and white hawk. His opponent on its back, he appeared to be drawing something. Page box. Wow, to have such a mastery over Earth. He must have one hell of a sensei. Stated Naruto. Indeed. His control over Earth is similar to my control over sand. Stated Gaara. His teacher is in fact my granddaughter. I've known him since he was 5, as my son was assigned his caretaker for a while after his mother died on a mission. Answered Inoki. What of the father? Asked A. Never knew who it was. Though we have a feeling. Back in the arena. Sai was on the ropes, every time he made an ink monster, it was just crushed by a wave or spike of earth. Sai knew his mission was to win the event. He didn't know why, and he didn't really care. Lord Danzo had given him the headband and told him to win the tournament. Sai knew he was outmatched. His ink monsters weren't having any effect and he couldn't build enough chakra in one area to create his ink bomb. The only thing he could do was stay out of reach and hope to tire out the earth using ninja. If you think you're out of my reach you're sadly mistaken. Stated Tririn as he bent down and scooped up a handful of dirt before compressing it into the size of a marble before he lazily threw it at Sai, who moved to avoid it. Boom. The marble-sized ball of earth exploded into a massive sphere of shrapnel, dispelling the ink creation, causing heavy damage to the pale nin's left side and knocking him unconscious. Sai was snatched out of the air by a tendril of earth and brought him safely to the ground. Just because he underestimated me doesn't mean he deserves to die. Stated Tririn. Eri nodded with a smile directed to the young Iwanin. Alright. Winner, Tririn. Good to see that at least one Iwanin isn't a total lost cause. We will be having a 30-minute break before the next round of the finals. Would Remi Shiranui and Shushi Uzumaki Uchiha please come down to the field? Called out Derry with a yawn, gaining a sweat drop from the crowd. Why don't you both just forfeit? Say that there's nothing more to prove or that sensei told you to never fight or something. Stated Izumi. Sensei would be angry if we did that. Stated Remi. Would he? Konoha stresses teamwork to the max. Besides, you both showed enough to make chunin. Stated Izumi. I suppose. Besides, whoever won would have to fight you anyway. Stated Shisui. Would you two just fight? It would be best to show all your skills, even if you lose, than to show no skills and tie. Stated the Iwa Genin, lazing back on the bench in the contestant box. You just want them weak so that you have an easier chance to win. Stated Izumi. Odd if they both forfeit, then the winner of our match will win the tournament. Stated Tririn with a deadpan tone of voice. Are all Konoha ninja idiots when they're not fighting? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Why does Lord Inoki want to kill their sensei so bad? Oh, right. Stated Izumi, rubbing the back of his head, emulating a younger Naruto. He's hiding something. Sensei said to signal him if anything was fishy. Page box. So not only is it two Konoha genin fighting in the semi-finals, but two of your students. Very interesting. Stated Inoki, his eyes trained on the field, studying the movements of the genin. It's astounding the line of teachers you have in Konoha. Tobirama Senju taught Hiruzen Sarutobi, who taught Jiraiya of the Sannin, who taught Minato Namikaze, who taught Kakashi Haddock, who taught you, and now you have 3 students who are going to make chunin in their first exam. Stated A, who was once again considering getting his own team. I'm not the one who should get credit, the credit is all theirs. Stated Naruto as he gazed over to the contestant box. His eyes widened for a second before his gaze snapped back to the field. That was the signal of a possible invasion. What could have happened for Izumi to signal? How did I miss that? Exam field. Begin. Remi shot backwards and drew out 2 kunai as Shisui rocketed forward, pulling his sewing needle sword and going for his girlfriend's legs, hoping to end the fight quickly, but had to dodge when Remi charged wind chakra to her kunes and swung, barely missing Shisui's legs. Both fighters were separated when an invisible gold and blue blur blew past them, a loud thumping sound echoing from the wall of the stadium across from the cage box. Everyone turned their heads to see the young Hokage elbow deep in 2 blank masked men's chests, blood running down his arms. Only A had seen him move, and even to him it was a blur. Sasuke. Get Izumi out of here. A. Akatsuki is here. Shouted Naruto as he ripped his arms out of the 2 dead masked men and appeared next to Remi and Shisui, wrapping an arm around each of them and teleporting away. Namika's bunker. Naruto flashed into the bunker that he had constructed after the massacre in Kiri, Remi and Shisui under his arm. Literally no time to explain, this bunker is only accessible by me, my bodyguards and Sasuke. The chunin exam is being attacked by Danzo, and most likely Akatsuki if the chakra signatures I sensed earlier are any indication. You 2 were targets, so is Izumi, you both know why. Sasuke should be here any second with him. Stay here until I come back for you. If I don't come back. Naruto was interrupted when Sasuke appeared behind him, Izumi under his arm. It's worse than we thought, it's Orochimaru, Danzo, his army, Iwa and a couple of Akatsuki members. Fuck. Let's get going, we need to be there. Stated Naruto as he grabbed Sasuke's shoulder and disappeared in a flash. Sensei will come back. I know that he will. Stated Izumi with a smile. Tran seemed conflicted, why? Was he against the invasion? Dad was there. I could feel it. Battlefield. Naruto and Sasuke flashed back into the stadium, most of the civilians were already being evacuated. They arrived just in time to stop a nameless root from running through Yujito, who was busy fending off a group of Iwa shinobi. Naruto appeared literally inside the root member, his fist implanted into his skull. This ends now. The whole stadium froze as they felt 2 godly chakra bursts, everyone turned to the source of the power. In the middle of the stadium, 2 literal pillars of chakra were exploding from a blonde and a black-haired shinobi, killing intent rolling off of them, literally paralyzing the weaker shinobi. Both counter-ninja Sasuke and the Biju killer were showing off their outrageous chakra levels. A. B. Protect the civilians. May Gaara. Protect Yujito and Tamari. Shouted Naruto, beginning to gather nature chakra. Oh, what are we gonna do? Questioned Sasuke, his eyes morphing into the fabled eternal Manjikyu Sharingan. I'm going to kill every Odo, Rude and Iwa ninja I come across. Use the seal to stay behind me. Kill anyone who I miss. Stated Naruto, his pupils turning into white stars as the whites of his eyes turned blue. As he entered Sage mode, the white stars turned golden. I never thought I would need this level. Naruto blurred from target to target, a wind release and lightning release Rasengans in his right and left hand as he slaughtered hundreds of Iwa and Rutanin inside of 15 seconds, Sasuke using the Hiraishin seal to keep up as he took out everyone that wasn't in Naruto's path of destruction. Everyone that wasn't in the uchiha path of destruction simply stared on in awe as sparks of blonde popped up around the arena, blood exploding like a volcano from every group of Odo, Root and Iwa ninja that the blonde passed through. The ninja in their way could do nothing but look on in frozen panic as the flashes of yellow, blue and black grew closer and closer until they too were swallowed up in the blitzkrieg of death. With A. B. I believe that Dad would be very proud. Stated A as he watched the bloodshed with an odd sense of detachment. It's like someone combined Dad and Minato. If that isn't the stuff of nightmares then I don't know what is. I know what you mean brokage. Stated B as he killed another root that was attempting to kill a civilian before turning back to watching the blonde. He's like you, Flash. Your son is the kindest man I know, but when it comes time to fight, he turns all that off. Thank God I only had to fight you once. I couldn't have survived a second time. And I doubt I could beat your boy at all. With May. It's like when the yellow flash took out that Iwa squad. Stated Yujito, who had heard from A that the slaughter of Iwa was the reason B was too terrified to ever fight Naruto. It was also the reason that Derry, who had been a chunin at the time, slept with a teddy bear. Let's just hope that he can still take Inoki, Danzo and Orochimaru while we handle whatever Akatsuki members made their way here. Stated Gaara, the girls agreeing with him. None of them were prepared for a giggle escaping from the Kazekage. Like anyone could stand against him. Back to Naruto and Sasuke. The Uchiha team stopped in the center of the arena as all of the surrounding Iwa and Root Nin, along with most of the Odo Nin, fell to the ground, blood and gore exploding from them as they fell. Within a minute, all visible enemies were dead, and Naruto and Sasuke stood back to back, waiting for the next threat to emerge. So much like your father. Blonde hair, blue eyes. You're faster than he was though. I'll enjoy killing you to get revenge for my fallen shinobi. Stated Inoki as he levitated above them. Yes, you will finally die here today, brat. Then Sasuke-kun will be all mine. Stated Orochimaru, emerging from the ground, his implanted Sharingan eyes glowing red. It's time I take my rightful place as the Kage of Konoha. When your great-grandfather passed me for that fool Sarutobi, he doomed the village. Now it will thrive under a true ruler. Declared Danzo, who was now standing behind the duo. Sasuke. Retreat. Demanded Naruto, getting a surprised look from the Uchiha. Naruto didn't give him time to react. I said retreat. Akatsuki is here and I need you to hold them off while I deal with these idiots. Sasuke simply nodded and blurred over to where four cloaked figures stood. Asuma, A, Derry and May appeared next to him. Gaara, B and Yujito were grouped together, waiting patiently to help whoever needed it. The cage guards were helping evacuate the remaining genin and civilians, along with Kumo's ninja. Foolish move boy, you cannot stand against us. Stated Inoki smugly. You're the fool. You say that you did this to honor your fallen shinobi, yet you watched me slaughter another 500 and only appear after you assume that I have been tired out. Who did my father kill that would allow the great Inoki of both scales to abandon his village to get revenge on him by killing his son? Questioned Naruto, using the distraction to once again gather nature chakra, not wanting to use any of the seals to refill his reserves. You're going to die today anyway. Your son of a bitch father killed my son and daughter. My daughter had just given birth to my granddaughter the year before, but still went out to the battlefield to assist in our conquest. Now I'm going to kill his son to pay him back. Stated Inoki. I know of all of your abilities and how to defeat them. You use dust release, but I can constantly disrupted the airflow around B along with charging that same air with lightning chakra, defeating your dust release. Orochimaru, you have Fugaku Sharingan, very strong, however you are not an Uchiha or part Senju. You can't use it for extended periods of time without suffering from it. Plus that weak revival jutsu, 10 times is the limit you can use it before the body you're inhabiting completely rejects you. And Danzo. You have Shisui right eye. Plus 10 more on that arm of yours. I'll just have to kill you 10 times. Stated Naruto with a smirk, during his little speech he fully recharged his nature chakra. This is your last chance. I will kill all of you if you do not retreat. Inoki spread his palms, forming a small cube of chakra. HMPH. No one can defeat dust really. Inoki was cut off when faster than he could track, a fist caught him in the gut as searing pain exploded through his body. Uzamaki style. Meteor punch. Shouted Naruto, his fist coming out of the age cage's back, lightning chakra sparking off of it and blood and bone covering it. I told you that you would die. And because you waged war on my village, I'll be sure to wipe Iwa of the map. I'm going to kill your son-in-law and granddaughter and it's all your fault. Inoki couldn't believe it, he was just run through. He could feel the life leaving his body as he fell to the ground, smacking the ground with a sickening thud. He wasn't sure when the blonde had pulled his arm out of his gut, but he was sure that it was no longer there. This is how it ends. I die by the hand of a 16-year-old brat. I was a fool. Kitsuchi, Kuritsuchi. Goodbye. All fighting had stopped as everyone either watched in horror or in awe of the fact that the Biju killer had just killed the Tsuchikage. The short man lay on his back, a fist-sized hole in his abdomen. I told you I would kill you all. For the good of the ninja world, I cannot allow you to live any longer. Stated Naruto as his eyes morphed into golden backdrops and dazzling blue concentric rings around a small pupil. The last man to wield these eyes saved the world. Now I have to kill you both to do the same. Danzo found himself the next to face off against the blonde when he felt his chest explode, only to look down and see a hand poking out of his chest, the blonde standing behind him. Danzo's lone black eye locked with Naruto's golden and blue. Their eyes stayed locked as Danzo began to shimmer away into nothingness, only for Naruto disappear a moment later, Danzo standing where the blonde was, a kunai with a wind blade protruding from it and into the area that the blonde's chest had inhabited. Orochimaru, would you like to join us? Questioned Danzo as he removed bandages around the right side of his face, revealing Shisui's implanted eye, hoping to keep up with the blonde brat. "I didn't want to ruin your fun," stated Orochimaru, his Sharingan eyes scanning for the blonde. His eyes widened when a Rasengan shredded through his back and out his chest. Naruto retreated and watched as Orochimaru crawled out of his own mouth. "Pedo, that is by far the most disgusting technique in the world. Ah, but I am immortal with this jutsu. And now you will die and I will claim my prize," stated Orochimaru. Who put of the corner of his eye picked out a black blur descending upon him. He leapt out of the way as a black staff crushed into the ground where he had been standing. "Come to finally die. It's the fool who is overconfident that always loses. Jiraiya taught you that long ago. I've been training with him for the last 3 years," stated Hiruzen Sarutobi, who stood next to the crater he had just created, holding Enma in bow staff form in his right hand. Black samurai-style armor hung on his surprisingly muscular frame. "I've been training since our last fight, waiting for you to grow to confidant and reveal yourself. Now you will both die here today, just as Inoki did." "Old man, which one do you want?" questioned Naruto, his muscles tensed and his eyes pulsing with chakra. "Both," smiled Sarutobi as he disappeared, slamming Enma into Orochimaru's face, crushing his right cheekbone before spinning around and extended Enma to swipe at Danzo, only for Danzo to leap over the bow staff. "Still as quick as ever, Danzo. Makes me wonder why you ever took to the shadows." "I was forced to take to the shadows when Tobirama elected you over me. Had he not made that mistake then you would have done the same as I did," stated Danzo, pumping twice the amount of wind chakra to his kunai, creating a 5-foot-long chakra blade. "Hiruzen. That wind blade can damage me. You cannot block, only deflect," stated the staff in Sarutobi's hand, growing an eye and staring at the wind blade. "Seems his control is getting better if his wind chakra can harm you," stated Hiruzen with a smirk. He thrusted Enma at the half-blind ex-root commander, barely missing after Danzo dropped to the ground and rolled away, once again narrowly avoiding Enma. "I believe it's time I introduce my own summon," stated Danzo after he rolled to his feet and flashed through hand seals. "Summoning. Baku. Summoning. Manda," shouted Orochimaru, appearing next to Danzo, flashing through the same hand seals. In a cloud that enveloped a majority of the stadium, 2 giant beasts emerged, a mammoth purple snake and an equally large elephant-tiger hybrid. "Old man, I can't summon any of the toads here, we would destroy the village. You take Danzo and Orochimaru, I'll get the beasts," stated Naruto, falling in line with the 70-year-old man. "Exactly, we will have to separate them first," stated Sarutobi. "I'm going to need some wind. The strongest you have. Fire style. Grand Dragon Bomb. Uzumaki style. Elemental Dragon. Wind," shouted Naruto as he and Sarutobi unleashed equally titanic dragons that intertwined as they rocketed toward the summons. Danzo took action, using a burst of wind chakra to help the Baku move away from the raging hellfire, while Manda and Orochimaru moved underground. Danzo's Baku didn't have time to land when Sarutobi extended Enma and smacked the soaring hybrid into the ground. Danzo was forced to dismount his summon when the still enlarged Enma staff came speeding at his midsection. Danzo had just made the biggest mistake of his life. He forgot that Naruto was still in the area. He felt a chakra signature appear next to him and turned just in time to see the blonde deliver a punch to his face and a slash down his Sharingan-laced arm with the splash sword. The resulting explosion destroyed the implanted eyes, removed the arm and shredded the rest of his side. Naruto. Danzo hit the ground with a thump, writhing in agony from the pain of having the whole right side of his body blown away. "Why isn't it working? The Izanagi isn't activating. The whole arm is gone. That fucking blonde. I'll make sure he never sees another day." Realizing he was losing blood fast, he activated the seal in his chest, causing a seal array to spread onto the ground surrounding him, including his Baku. Naruto acted quickly, speeding to Sarutobi and flashing them both out of the range of the sealing array, as everything in a 50-foot sphere around the ex-root commander was sealed into his body. "One down. One left to go," stated Sarutobi after Naruto set him down. Naruto's eyes widened as he once again grabbed Sarutobi and jumped away a moment before the giant snake's head erupted from the ground. "Old man, I'm going to take out Manda, get Orochimaru," stated Naruto as he released Hiruzen and rocketed into the air, unsealing his 3 swords. The splash sword in his right hand, the claymore in his left and the Nadachi in his teeth. "I'm getting too old for this shit," mumbled Naruto as he began spinning at impossible speed and descending towards the purple cobra. Uzumaki style. Tri-blade cyclone. Naruto pumped wind chakra into all 3 blades, his rotation and the angle he held all 3 blades, forming a literal tornadoes that expanded outward, ripping into Manda, who let out a horrible screech as he thrashed away from the cyclone and dispelled back to the summon realm, but not before releasing an outrageous amount of blood. "You brat. You're ruining everything," shouted Orochimaru in rage, both from the loss of his deal with Danzo and the likely loss of Manda. I'll fucking kill you. I'm going to kill you, burn Konoha to the ground and kill everyone that survives. Orochimaru began hyperventilating as his chakra flared wildly. Orochimaru glared at the duo before smiling evilly and sinking into the ground. Until next time Naruto-kun. Old man. That damn snake. I'll kill pile of shit if it's the last thing I do. Mumbled Naruto angrily. Taking a look towards the other fighters, seeing the men in black robes retreating, he relaxed. Only to hear a thump behind him. Spinning around he saw Sarutobi on the ground in an unnatural position. Old man. Shit. Medic. You gotta stop doing this after every single invasion. In the stands. You were right, grandfather. To think the kid I helped out all those years ago is now unquestionably the strongest man in the world. Stated the cloaked man in the stands. Glad my son is in good hands. I could have raised him. I raised you, didn't I? Even if he's in Uzumaki. Questioned the man next him. I've met that blonde you know. I know Gigi, you told me when I revived you. And you weren't exactly the kindest person. Plus we didn't meet till that slave of yours confronted me when I faked my death and fled Konoha. Stated the first. Obito was not a slave. That fact should be quite clear since he and that brat Uzumaki crossed me. Must have been when you told them to abandon the plan. I'd be pissed too. At least this plan stands a chance. Fighter's box. Madara Niacin was right. Lord Inoki is a fool. To attack the son of the Yellow Flash and sacrifice even more men. Niacin said that this would happen. Though Tririn as he looked out over the battlefield. I can't go back. I won't serve under fools and with Uncle Katsuchi next in line. Everyone in Konoha gathered in the street surrounding the Hokage Tower. They had been informed that the Godin was about to make a speech, thought about what, the civilians did not know, but most of them had been guessing. Some thought that Naruto was honoring the ninja that made chunin, while others believed that he was naming a successor. A ninja had heard rumors that the third had died in the Kumo chunin exam invasion, but no one had seen Isuma or anyone that was actually there, so they could not confirm this. Everyone was ripped from their thoughts and conversations when Naruto's booming voice erupted over the city. People of Konoha. I have called this assembly to honor a great man. During the invasion of the chunin exams in Kumo, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the god of shinobi and Sandaime Hokage, died as a result of wounds received in combat during a confrontation that left himself, Danzo Shimura and Inoki of both scales dead. Stated Naruto from the top of the Hokage Tower, using a voice transmission jutsu to amplify his voice. A loud gasp echoed through the crowd, many cried, some were in shock, but all were saddened. As most of you know, I thought of him as a grandfather, having never known my own, or my mother and father. It saddens me that he is gone, but it also fills me with pride, for I know that he is not and will never be forgotten. As the Godin Hokage, I Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze Senju, hereby name July 24th, Hiruzen Sarutobi Day, in honor of the greatest Hokage to ever hold the position. Roaring applause shook the city at Naruto's deceleration. Only once had a day be named after a man, and that was when Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju formed Konoha. In honor of the late Sandaime, all missions are off for the day, and no stores are required to be open. Take today to celebrate the life of our greatest Hokage. Also, anyone that wishes to help out with his funeral, visit the Sarutobi clan compound. Asuma is making the arrangements. And Iwa. Do you accept the title of 4th Tsuchikage? Questioned a nameless counselor. Before him stood Katsuchi, son-in-law of Inoki, known to be the best earth user in the village, and not counting the Kazekage's use of sand in the world, and to have the largest chakra reserves in Iwa, even more than the two Jinchuriki, he was the best pick to be the newest Earth Shadow. Though he was an immensely powerful fighter, he was an even greater leader. He had never led a squad that had failed their mission, and most importantly, he hated the Namikaze line more than any other man or woman in Iwa. And he was capable of using the dust element. I accept the position of Yondaime Tsuchikage. In Konoha, 1 week later. Naruto once again sat behind his desk, reading through different scrolls and signing documents, though he was not actually sitting behind his desk, that was a shadow clone. The real Naruto was sitting on the old, worn-out couch in his office, lost in thought. Iwa should be sending their demands for me killing their kage soon. No doubt they will want my head. And I can't counterclaim, as old man died from exhaustion. Hopefully they won't declare war. Naruto-kun, a scroll from Iwa has arrived. Stated Mai, the aging secretary from the doorway. A very troubled look on her face. Most likely because her and Hiruzen had been very good friends. Send for the branches, Sasuke, Sakura, Tsunade and the Naras. Then you may take the rest of the day off. You never took time to help get over his loss. Stated Naruto as he got up and took the scroll from her. You haven't either, Naruto-kun. Stated the elderly woman. You were closer to him than any of us, maybe even more than Asuma-kun and Jiraiya. 10 minutes later. Troublesome. What did they request? questioned Shikaku, who had just walked through the door with Shikamaru, taking a spot on the couch in front of Naruto's desk. Beside him sat Kakashi, along with Itachi, Sasuke and Zabuza. In the chairs on either side sat Sakura, Tsunade, Shizune and Asuma. "We're still waiting for Guy," stated Zabuza, he and Kakashi holding matching books, flipping pages at the same times in a fascinating mirror image of each other. "Fear not my friends, I am here," shouted Guy, who had just jumped through the window and landed in the last chair. The group collectively held up cards with the number 10, however Kakashi and Zabuza simply looked towards Guy and faked being surprised to see Guy before asking in unison. "Hey Guy, when did you get here?" Unyouthful masked men. "Now that Guy is here, what did they demand?" questioned Shikaku, nodding off even as Naruto splashed water at him. "Troublesome. They want me, Izumi, Shisui, Remi and anyone I've ever been in a romantic relationship with delivered to them so they can execute us," stated Naruto without emotions, though everyone there could see his rage. "What? That's outrageous. I can see them demanding you, but why would they want to kill the brats and your girlfriends?" questioned Tsunade, her motherly instincts kicking into overdrive at the very thought of losing her metaphorical son and grandsons. "Didn't they demand the same when the fourth ended the third great shinobi war?" questioned Sakura, her outrageous booksmart shining through. "They want the Namikaze line to end with me. That includes the 3 I've taught and the ones I loved," stated Naruto with a sigh. "Shikaku. Are we capable of handling war right now?" The question made everyone's eyes widen, though it seemed that Shikaku had anticipated it. "Yes. As long as it's only Iwa and smaller nations we are up against, we will be fine. Though if Akatsuki joins them, we will need the help of either Suna and Kiri or Kumo. Fuck Iwa, they should be wiped out," stated Zabuza, him and Kakashi, turning a page. "Iwa has started every widespread war the elemental countries have ever had. I think the world would be better off without them. Perhaps we should send a preemptive strike," stated Sasuke with a raised eyebrow. "Kumo used one to prevent a fourth world war when Kiri threatened to unleash Utatanka after they saw what the Kyuubi did to this place," stated Zabuza. "No, Iwa wouldn't back down if we threw the first punch, and we don't have the manpower to wipe out the whole village without Konoha being left unguarded," stated Itachi. "You're right. Even with all of my abilities I would need everyone in this room as well as Jiraiya. That would leave only the Anbu to guard the village," stated Naruto. "Then we should send a demand back for the death of my dad, seeing as he also died as a result of that battle," stated Asuma. "After all, you killed everyone from Iwa that was in that stadium besides the genin, so we could say it was caused by Inoki. What should we demand?" "An Iwa, 3 days later." "They did what?" shouted Kitsuchi, his huge frame lumbering over his desk. "Konoha has sent back a demand of their own, claiming Lord Inoki is the reason that their Sandaime is dead," stated Kuretsuchi, reading off of the scroll they had received that morning. "They want yours and my head, as well as any other living member of our family. That is outrageous. That son of a bitch killed 500 of our men and my father-in-law, then they demand that we hand over even more," questioned Kitsuchi to himself, not expecting an answer. "I can kill him, for a price," stated a voice from the corner of the room, Kitsuchi and Kuretsuchi, both falling into a battle-ready stance. Now, no need to be hostile, after all, I plan on killing a pest you want dead, if the price is right." A man with countless piercing and orange hair walked out of the shadows, his eyes closed. "I'm glossing over the fact that you somehow got past my guards. Just how do you plan to do that? He's one of if not the strongest men in the world, if he can defeat my father-in-law, Danzo Shimura, countless Kiri ninja and a fucking Biju, how do you plan on beating him?" questioned Kitsuchi. "Simple," stated the man as he opened his eyes. "I can beat anyone, I am the god of aim." Konoha, 3 days later. Naruto was looking over the latest message from the Tsuchikage, and to say the least, he was not amused. "The Kage-sama. I am sending this as a warning. You have one more chance to give yourself, Shisui Uzamaki uchiha, Izumi Namikaze, Remi Shiranui and anyone you have been romantically involved with over to us, or Iwa will declare open war on Konoha. Itsuchi, Yondaime Tsuchikage." Naruto considered his next move when a sinister plan formed in his mind. "Itachi. Bring me those Iwa spies that Jiraiya captured." 1 week later, Iwa. Itsuchi looked over his village, contemplating his next move. Konoha had yet to send back anything, and he was rapidly losing patience. That coward Namikaze must be scared. No matter. With the help of Akatsuki, he will be dead and Konoha will fall. He was taken from his musings when a chunin busted into the room, panting heavily and pale white. "Sir." "Hokage." At the gate. Itsuchi's eyes widened, he took off as fast as he could, blowing through the wall to his right, his mind racing as he speed through the village. He's here. Is he going to attack? Is he planning on giving himself up? He stopped dead in his tracks when he came into view of the gate. His eyes locked onto the form of the goddamn Hokage, his 3 students behind him and a group of Iwa ninjas behind them, all chained at the wrist with chakra reinforcing seals. Itachi. I've come to end this nonsense once and for all. Behind me are 6 spies my shinobi have captured inside my walls. You have 2 options. You call this whole thing off and I release these men to you, or you are stupid enough to continue these charades and I kill them all in front of you. Stated Naruto. I won't stop until you are dead, Namikaze. Shouted Katsuchi, rushing the blonde, only for the cries of stop to reach his ears. He looked to see the men he knew to be his spies looking at him. I'm horror before their foreheads began to glow with blue kanji. I warned you. I placed explosive seals on their heads, and now. Boom. Katsuchi watched in horror and rage as his shinobi heads exploded, one by one. Blood and bits of brain rocketing in all directions, he felt his blood boil as each head exploded, until he finally lost it and rushed the grinning blonde, a punch aims at his head. I had the last laugh. Suddenly, the blonde in front of him turned into one of the shinobi he had seen killed, his face pale, his body covered in about 100 explosive notes. Sir. Boom. The shinobi in front of him detonated, causing a blast to take out a huge portion of the area around them. Katsuchi was replaced by the explosion, taking the full blast of it to his exposed midsection. His body lost all rigidity as the bloody blob skid and skipped down the main road, his villagers staring in horror at the thought of losing another cage. In a rock formation overlooking the village gates, Sasuke and Itachi watched as medics rushed to stabilize their leader, each uchiha having their EMS activated. He fell for it. Of course he did. You had him in a genjutsu to think the front 4 were Naruto, Shisui, Izumi and Remi, well I used a genjutsu to make him think that Naruto killed more of his shinobi. Stated Sasuke. Let's head back, Naruto is going to be happy it went so well. Next day, Iowa Hospital. Itachi awoke, his body searing in pain as his eyes widened and his body tensed. Lord Tsuchikage. You must relax. You have suffered near fatal injuries and we have only barely patched you back together. Shouted a doctor next to him, injecting a paralyzing agent into his IV. This will keep you from moving, it's a paralyzing agent used to help perform amputations. Luckily only your ribs were badly damaged and we managed to heal any crippling injuries. Itachi relaxed as the paralyzer took effect, pain leaving his body as the doctor injected morphine as well. Where is Namikaze? I would think in Konoha, sir. Stated a jonin that had been guarding his room. He escaped. He was standing at our front gate and you let him escape. Shouted the infuriated Earth Shadow, surprising the doctor when his body started moving again. What are you talking about, sir? Namikaze was never here. You were talking with our spies from Konoha at the gate when you got angry and moved to hit him. Next thing we knew, he exploded, taking out most of the gate, the other spies and yourself. Stated the jonin, his voice showing the confusion. What? Namikaze was here. He activated the seals that blew their heads off. Stated Katsuchi. Sir, we've watched the tapes from the gate, he was never there. Konoha. Naruto sat behind his desk, in front of him sat Sasuke and Itachi, both had smirks on their faces, Naruto had a matching one on his own face. Very good you two. Though I would have liked to crippled more of their forces. It's too bad we had to resort to killing those spies though. Yes, it is a shame that they didn't want to desert to us. Though it is very honorable of them to send themselves to their deaths instead of living as traitors to their countries. Stated Itachi with a nod. Any news out of Iowa? Questioned Sasuke. No, only what we already know. Katsuchi was injured in the explosion, but he is already recovering. Iowa's public relations has put out a report stating that he is already stabilized and resuming his duties as Kage. Stated Itachi. Though it is possible that he could be bedridden, the explosion happened about 3 feet from his rib cage. Unless he was charging his ribs with chakra, his ribs should have been shattered. Iowa has hired Akatsuki. Stated a deep voice behind Naruto. The group turned to the window to see Jiraiya sitting on the windowsill. Hey pervy sage, decide to take a gander at the hot springs. Joked Naruto, though the seriousness on Jiraiya's face forced Naruto sit up straight. Any news on what they hired them for? To kill you. Their leader is rumored to be handling the contract personally. Stated Jiraiya. Pain. Gasped out Itachi, causing them to all stare at him questioningly. He calls himself a god, and in many ways he is. From what I could gather, he defeated Hanzo the salamander by himself. But what's more, he has the Rinnegan. Unbelievable. To think I lived to see 3 different people have the Rinnegan. 2 of them my own students. Stated Jiraiya to himself. Jiraiya. What do you mean 3 people, and only old man Ichiraku, Mikoto Uchiha, myself and my father were your students, and unless that Ramen-making old man has the Rinnegan, you better speak up. Stated Naruto, his tone official and his own eyes boring into the Toad Sannin. Jiraiya stared at his youngest student. He felt a strange mixture of pride and fear from the look on the young blonde's face. It was during the Second Great Shinobi War. Unknown. Well. Seems you taught him well. Stated a figure, face blocked by shadows. How do you figure? Naruto has been taught by me, Itachi, Gai, Kakashi, Asuma, Jiraiya-sama and Hiruzen-sama, not to mention Zabuza Momochi and the Raikage. Stated another figure in the room, a beam of light hitting the back of his head, showing dark, short, spiky hair. Don't fool yourself. That boy is a senju, inside and out. His great-grandfather killed my brother in combat. And no senju could or would use a leader's own soldiers against him. Either you or that friend of yours taught him that. Aim. Sure you don't want help, sir? He is outrageously strong. Stated Kakazu. He very well may have killed more people than I have. No. The Nine Tails is of no concern to me. He may be strong by Jinchuriki standards, but I am a god. Nothing will stop me from my dream. Stated Nagato, his red hair shifting smoothly as he walked around the top floor of the tower. I will be going alone. That's fucking stupid. I'm literally immortal and I don't want to fight that blonde prick with every member at my back, let alone by myself. Stated Haiden with a snort. Their powers are limited, mine are not. Stated Nagato as he continued to move around, stretching his legs and back. Nagatakin. Please let me come with you. Pleaded Konan, her eyes pleading with the red-haired man. No, you will protect the village while I am gone. I do not trust that I won't try invading or getting spies into the village during my absence. Stated Nagato, staring at Konan, his glowing purple eyes boring into the woman's face. Fine, but at least use your paths to begin the fight and learn his abilities. Stated Konan. Nagato nodded. I plan to. By this time in 1 week, Konoha will lose another leader. Konoha. Naruto was once again doing paperwork at his desk when he looked up at the picture on his desk, each one cracking at the same time, each crack going through someone in the picture. Shisui and Izumi from the Team 7 picture, Asuma and Shizune from the 6 branches picture, Tsunade and himself from the elders picture and Yujito in her single picture. Naruto sat and stared at the picture for what seemed like hours, his brain flashing through different thoughts, though one was the most prominent. Yujito and Bachan never leave the village. And unless Izumi and Shisui were with me then they wouldn't either. Is I were going to invade. Naruto looked out of his window, staring up at his father's and great-grandfather's faces. What do I do? If they invade the village then everyone is at risk. Send me Niji, Hinata and Hiashi Hyuga. 10 minutes later. Good, you're all here. I want more Hyuga watching the walls, more specifically, I want them watching for an invasion. Stated Naruto, not even waiting for the trio to take a seat. I would declared war? Questioned Hiashi. Naruto shook his head and turned the pictures around, showing cracks in the glass in front of the 6 people. I do my best not to be superstitious, but they all happened at the same time and I felt something when it happened. Niji, curious, activated his Byakugan. Naruto. There are glowing white residue in each of those cracks. It's like chakra, but it has no physical energy. Naruto turned his head back to the Hokage monument, where it looked like the mouth of Tobirama wavered slightly in a smile for the briefest of seconds. Naruto nodded and turned back to his 3 Hyuga. 1 man for every cardinal direction and walking guards between them. Byakugans activated at all times. What are we to be looking for? Questioned Hiashi. A small group or single person wearing black cloaks with red clouds on them. Stated Naruto. Akatsuki. They would be bold enough to attack the entire village. Questioned Niji. Either their leader is coming, or it's a diversion for them to get the other tailed beast. Gaara can handle himself, but Izumi and Yujito cannot. I'm not worried about B, he is the strongest Jinchuriki in the world. Stated Naruto. Hinata, I want you to send word to Gaara, warn him about Akatsuki possibly moving soon. I will contact B. Iwa next day. You're looking well. Itsuchi sat up straight. Looking at the corner of his hospital room. He watched as the orange-haired figure appeared from the corner, his glowing purple eyes staring blankly at the injured leader. How do you keep getting past my guards? That is none of your concern. I will kill the Hokage in 3 days. Where is my money? Questioned orange-haired man. Pain didn't truly care about the money, he just wanted that Tsuchikage to know that he was under his thumb. After all, they had already captured both the Yonbi and Gobi. I still refuse to believe that you can kill him. I won't pay you until I have his head. Retorted Katsuchi, sounding much more confident and powerful than a bedridden man should. You are not in position to make such demands. I want the money now, but as a show of good faith, I will accept half of it now and half when I bring his head. Rice country. In a dark room filled with countless scrolls, sat a pale figure on a throne. His eyes squinted and his breathing labored. Kabuto, why is this body failing me so fast? It's only been 3 years. It should last 5. I don't know myself, sir. It could be that the fight you had with Namikaze weakened it, but I don't know how that would be possible. Stated Kabuto from his spot in front of the pale Sannin. What body would you like prepared? How much of Danzo were you able to recover? Questioned Orochimaru. Unfortunately, his arm was destroyed beyond recovery and his eye was missing, he probably sealed it within himself to keep anyone else from getting it. Answered Kabuto. Very well then. Prepare Guren, she will be my next vessel. Aim. I told you he wouldn't fucking go alone. Stated the foul-mouthed Haiden to the man next to him, who was his partner Kakazu. You're going with a separate mission. You two are to capture the two-tail while Kisame and Tobi capture the three tails. Sasori and Dodara are going to Suna to capture the one tail. If needed I will send a path for you. States Nagato as he continued reading each of the blonde's battle reports. His frown continued to grow the farther into each report he read. Can use all elements, knows various S-rank ninjutsu for water, fire, wind and water, master of Taijutsu and Kinjutsu, fastest man on the planet, strongest man on the planet, known to use Shinjutsu when against multiple opponents. He has no weaknesses. Thought a disgruntled pain as he leafed through battle reports. Wait. That's it. I have found your weakness Naruto-kun. Naruto tossed and turned in his bed as nightmares plagued his dreams. Slight whimpers were heard from his throat as he seemed to physically struggle against himself before he began shaking. Naruto. Naruto. Naruto shot awake to find Yujito hugging him and lightly shaking him. It's okay, I'm here for you Naruto, it was just a bad dream, it's okay. While Yujito was comforting Naruto, Naruto rethought his dream. Flashback to dream. Naruto looked around in horror, surrounding the village were dozens mammoth salamanders, each leveling the trees and wildlife around the village with bursts of fire. Naruto attempted to stop them, but he kept getting blown back by an invisible force. Suddenly, screams erupted from the village, he saw 7 men killing civilians and shinobi alike, demanding to know where he was. He saw a shadowy figure with purple eyes, black ripples emanating from the pupil, he heard a final sentence from the man. With your death, the world shall know pain, and through pain, we will gain peace. End of dream. Naruto-kun. What's wrong? Was it a bad dream? Questioned Yujito, the blanket forgotten as she hugged him close. Suddenly, Izumi came flying into the room, jumped on the bed and hugged Yujito Naruto Nai. I had a bad dream. Can I sit with you for a while? What was your dream about Izumi? Questioned Naruto kindly and calmly, despite the fact he was still jittery. Maybe this will help me take my mind off of that nightmare. I was training with Yujitonichi and Mr. Turtle when the forest around the village started on fire. I saw you leave to go put the fire out, but then a masked guy, a guy with silver hair, a tall blue guy and a masked guy, came and fought me and Yujito, but they were too strong and they overpowered us, even when I used Mr. Turtle's chakra. Stated Izumi as he shivered against Yujito. Naruto has an incomprehensible look on his face as he heard the dream his adoptive little brother had, his mind racing as he compared it to his own dream. It's okay Izumi, you can sleep in our bed tonight. Yujito-hime, I need your help with something. Mumbled out Naruto as he got up from the bed, letting Izumi rest as he and Yujito got up from the bed. Yujito, if Akatsuki invades, I want you to take the kids and lock yourself in the bunker. What? What's going on Naruto-kun? Questioned Yujito, her eyes widening as she leaned into him. When the old man was young, he had a vision that my great-grandfather would be killed by Kumo nin. 2 days later, the Kinkaku force pinned down his squadron and he sacrificed himself to save everyone else. Stated Naruto, remembering what Sarutobi had told him. I know, my grandfather was part of that force, he said that Tobirama-sama killed 15 of them before the Sandaime ran him through with his lightning spear, it was the reason he was elected. Replied Yujito, channeling an almost forgotten memory of her father. The problem is, I don't think that was a dream. I think it was a vision. Stated Naruto, getting a gasp from his Jinchuriki girlfriend. I need to go talk with Jiraiya and Tsunade. Can you help Izumi get to sleep? 10 minutes later, Jiraiya's home. Hervey Sage, I need to talk to you. Naruto called from the door of the former Namika's guest house, which Jiraiya was currently occupying with Tsunade. Jiraiya answered the door dressed in his normal attire. What do you need Gaki? I'm about to make Tsunade a birthday cake. Stated the tall white-haired man. Did you just say that? Her birthday isn't till next month. Stated Naruto in confusion. You have 3 girlfriends, one lives with you, figure it out. Stated Jiraiya. Naruto's eyes widened for a brief second before he continued. Well she's at the hospital until 7 in the morning, so I need to talk to you. Stated Naruto, pushing his way into the guest house. So? Izumi had another nightmare. Stated Naruto as he sat in the living room of the small home. He's barely 10 and he's already a chunin, the stress is going to get to him, he'll be fine. Stated Jiraiya, I used to get them all the time, so did your old man. Naruto shook his head. We had the same dream at the same time, from different viewpoints. I think it was a vision. Next morning. Naruto sat in his office, his eyes tired and his head on his desk. If anyone who knew the near limitless bowl of energy, they would be shocked at his level of tiredness. You alright, dope? You look like hell. Questioned Sasuke as he looked over his best friend, who was face down on his desk with his arms covering his head. Naruto's muffled voice came from under his arms. Sasuke, I need you and Itachi to watch over Izumi and Yujiro until I say not to, get some training in today, and then you are not to leave their sides, understood? The rest of the branches are protecting the other high-value members of Konoha. Me, Tsunade and Jiraiya are going to fight them head-on when they get here. Wait. What? Questioned Sasuke, his eyes twitching violently as he tried to connect his prior knowledge with his partner's mumblings. Akatsuki is going to make a move against us soon enough. Jiraiya confirmed that. With Akatsuki, anything is possible. I would like to think that it would be their lower members, but seeing as I am the only rank ninja known in the world, they won't send the expendable lower class members. Stated Naruto as he say up, his eyes yellow with a black bar for pupils, showing he was in sage mode. You think the leader is going to come? Itachi said that he calls himself a god and that he's never lost, he even beat Hanzo the salamander to become the leader of AIM. Stated Sasuke as he sat on the couch across from Naruto's desk. He's the only confirmed member of Akatsuki to have the strength to be able to invade a village for only me. Stated Naruto, the sage mode fading from his eyes. Yay, but if he's that strong, then why wouldn't you want everyone helping you? Questioned Sasuke. Because if the leader is planning to fight me and hold me in one spot, then it's the best time to take out the other Jinchuruki. I've already alerted Gaara, but Yujiro and Izumi will be less protected than usual with me fighting, and only the you and the branches are strong enough to combat them. Sakura is going to be accompanying you and Itachi as well. Stated Naruto. So basically, you, Jiraiya and Tsunade are going to fight the leader, while me, Itachi and Sakura are going to be fighting with Yujiro and Izumi, while Kakashi, Asuma, Shizune, Guy and Zabuza are going to fighting off any other invading forces? Questioned Sasuke. Pretty much, yay. I am starting the attacks in 4 days' time. I would like for you to send some men to help create chaos in the village while I capture and kill my targets. Stated the orange-haired man that stood in the shadows of the Tsuchikage's office. Are you saying that you're not strong enough? I thought you were God. Questioned Katsuchi, growing angry with the man. I have the strength, but strength is nothing without a plan, and without a plan, you have no chance of success. Stated the purple-eyed man. Fine. I will send 10 Jonin, 10 Chunin and 10 Genin. Outside the door. The young Tririn stood outside the door that led to the Tsuchikage's office, his ear pressed up against the wall next to the door to better hear the conversation. Jonin, 10 Chunin and 10 Genin. If he gets directly involved in this then Iwa will be destroyed. Even if this guy could completely wipe out Konoha, we would still have Kumo, Suna, Kiri and a handful of the smaller countries to deal with. Thought Tririn worriedly. I need to leave this village. The only reason to stay is uncle, and he's not even my real uncle. I'm going to Konoha, even if they kill me I'll still be rid of this village. Unknown. Madara, are you sure you know what you're doing? He's strong, maybe even stronger than you. Stated Kisame, who had no idea the man he was talking to wasn't Madara Uchiha, but Obito Uchiha. I know he's strong. He's Sensei's and Kushina's kid. Shouted Tobi mentally. It won't be a problem. He can't touch me. Then again, Sensei hit me after only seeing the jutsu once. But you probably won't be able to touch him either. And with those attacks that can level villages, plus he has more chakra than all of us combined, not even you can defend from an attack that expands for miles. Stated Kisame, his usually beady eyes trained on the Uchiha in front of him. Hopefully Nagato can kill him. Even if I have to wait 3 more years for Kyuubi to manifest, it's better than just letting him continue to pick off my pawns. Thought Tobi as he turned away from Kisame. Be ready to kill him if the desired outcome is not achieved. My goal will come to fruition. Damn it. What are you up to, Madara? You disappear and now I can't find you. Konoha. Sasuke and Itachi were busy sparring, well, they call it sparring, but seeing as they were in Naruto's special playing grounds training grounds, and both were surrounded by 20-foot-tall purple chakra samurai cloaks, it wasn't too easy to actually call it sparring. Naruto says that he expects Akatsuki to attack any day now, and you still haven't told me about Pain and his abilities. Stated Sasuke as he motioned his arm, making his Susanoo send an arrow at his brother, only for Itachi to block it and return with a slash which was narrowly avoiding. It does not matter. If you see him, sense him, or even hear him, run. Only Naruto and maybe Jiraiya-sama can defeat him. We would be hard-pressed to. Stated Itachi as he closed his eyes for a moment before he opened them and aimed an Amaterasu blast at his younger brother's chakra construct. We are 2 of the strongest ninja in the world. Without eternal Manjikyu Sharingans, we are almost unstoppable. How strong is this man? Questioned Sasuke. He's no man, he's a god. With Naruto, next day. Come on, you're faster than that Izumi. Remi. Throw the senbon. Shouted Naruto from his spot looking over training ground 7, next to him sat Shisui, who had twisted his ankle when he tried to shunshin mid-shunshin, something Naruto had said Shisui Sr. was able to do. Sensei, why are you pushing Izumi so hard lately? He already can use the first tail, and he can use earth and water jutsu almost as well as you can. Questioned Shisui. You know how we don't know who Azumi's parents are, right? Questioned Naruto as they watched Izumi dodge a needle. Yay, did you find them? Questioned Shisui excitedly. No, but his latest blood test came back very interesting. You two are much closer than you think and at the same time, you're natural enemies. Hinted Naruto with a smirk. How does that work? The only enemies of the Uzumaki were Kagaya of the Mist and the only enemies of the No Way. You think Izumi Shisui was cut off when Naruto replied. I don't think, I know. I've seen the test myself. Stated Naruto, his eyes trained on the 10-year Jinchuriki. Are you going to tell him? Questioned Shisui, knowing it would only hurt his friend's feelings knowing that he still didn't have any family. If he ever figures it out or unlocks it, I'll tell him. But until then, let's not. It will only make him sad. But Shikamaru. Shika. Get your lazy ass up. Shouted Ino, standing over the Nara in question, who was laying across the mission desk. Troublesome woman, what do you want? Chaoji and Shino already cleared out the D ranks for the day. Stated Shikamaru lazily as he sat back in his chair. Me and Haku want to go shopping and I was wondering where Chajukin was. Stated Ino, motioning her head to the ice user behind her. Hey Haku. Check the Inyazuka compound. They have 2 missions there before they head over to Naruto house to pick up all the trash from the prank war that the kids had. Suna. Gaara sat at his desk, working on paperwork when his sister came into the room with her genin team. Hello Tamari, genin, what might I help you with? Gaara, cut out the emotionless shit, it's too early in the morning for that. Sighed Tamari, already borderline pissed off that her older male genin kept hitting on her. Or what? Going to have your boyfriend beat me up? Questioned Gaara with a smirk. I would never beat you up Kazekage-sama. Stated the older male genin, completely clueless to the fact that Tamari already had a boyfriend. You wouldn't be able to, there are very few in this world that could, and it just so happens that Tamari's actual boyfriend is the only one that I fear enough for that to be threat. Stated Gaara emotionlessly, though on the inside he was laughing hysterically. Yeah right. There's no way he's tougher than me. I'll kick his ass, then I'll have Tamarichan's hand in marriage. Stated the genin with vigor. I'd like to see you try, runt. And Tamari is her own person, so even if you did the impossible and beat me, you still wouldn't get her hand in marriage. Stated a low voice behind the group of genin, who spun around to see the imposing figure of Naruto standing over them in his great-grandfather blue battle armor. Who the hell are you? What do you mean that you're her boyfriend? Questioned the lone female genin. Seriously? Didn't either of you learn anything in the academy? Mumbled the third genin. He's the Hokage. He's the one that beat Kazekage-sama in the exams 3 years ago. Nice of you to drop in Hokage dono, but I must request that you not threaten my genin. Stated Gaara, getting the group of genin to turn back to him, but their attention was brought back to the Hokage as their sensei leaped into his arms. Naruto-kun. Tamari smiled seductively before planting her lips on his in a long kiss before breaking apart. It's been forever. I saw you 8 days ago. Deadpan Naruto. And that was a long 8 days. Stated Tamari in a seductive voice. If you two are going to fuck, at least get out of my office first. Commented Gaara, getting a blush from the 2 blondes and a glare from the genin that had been hitting on Tamari. I'd love to, but this is more important. Stated Naruto as he pulled out black scroll with red clouds on it. Tamari understood that it was private material. Let's go kids, you might think you're good, but until you can beat me, you're nothing. Tamari moved to leave, but spun around and whispered into the blonde man's ear. A moment later, Naruto was frozen in place, his eyes wide and his nose bleeding. Kiri. Why do I suddenly feel happy about in a harem? Did Naruto do something I like? Who am I kidding, he can use me any way he wants to, and I'd still love it. It must be one of the other blondes. Thought the Mizukage as she sat behind her desk. I really miss him. If I have time I'll signal him this weekend. Aki. To whom it may concern. I, the goddamn Hokage, am offering assistance to you and your village. We have some disturbing news that your Jinchuriki, Fu I believe her name is in danger from a ruse group hunting her and all other Jinchuriki, myself and the Kazekage included, for the Biju they carry. I do not know if any have been captured, but the Rikubi is missing from Kiri and Iwa does not protect their Jinchuriki. Attached is a one-time use Horatian seal that will signal myself to aid if your village or Fu are attacked. Best wishes. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze Senju. Ah, right. I'm glad that little monster and her guardian are dead. Now our village can thrive. stated a shadow-cloaked man as he ripped up the letter and burnt it. Iwa. What do you mean we can't find Han or Rashi? Questioned Katsuchi. Those fucking useless idiots, they are Iwa's weapons, why don't those damn Jinchuriki understand that? They haven't reported on for the last 2 months. Stated a joining with a logbook in his hands. I bet it was those Konoha bastards. Stated another jonin. Maybe Kumo, they have the power to pull it off, but Konoha was busy with an influx of missions when Han disappeared and Rashi was in hiding on the edge of Iron Country, which means that Konoha would have had to go all the way around us to even touch him. Stated the jonin with a logbook. It was neither. Stated a voice behind Katsuchi, an orange-masked figure stepping out of a black portal. It was I, Madara-cha. Suna. So you think that they will be attacking soon? Good, we will finally begin the end of the Akatsuki. Stated Gaara with a grin. It's not that, Gaara. I won't be able to save you or come to your aid if this fight happens. Jiraiya says that they're sending most of their forces to Konoha and the rest is coming after you. Stated Naruto seriously. Well, that's fine with me. You are not the only one who has gotten stronger, Naruto. Stated Gaara with a smirk. He pulled a scroll from under his hat and handed it to Naruto. I've never seen anyone keep a scroll under their hat. It's kind of ingenious. Who would think to look under your hat? Stated Naruto to himself as he opened the scroll. You shared your jutsu with me, now it's time I return the favor. Stated Gaara. Even if my grandmother was in Uzumaki, you did not need to teach me the technique. And you're the only one I can think of that could use it the way I created it for. But Izumi. I did it. I did it. Shouted Izumi, the front of his chunin vest charred and his face bloody and cut. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Stated Remi as she and the still limping Shisui looked on in awe. He combined them. He actually did it. Not even Naruto Nai can do that jutsu and Izumi combined it with that. Shouted Shisui as he threw his hands up, unfortunately letting go of Remi and falling to the ground due to lack of balance. Very impressive. I never would have thought he would have done it. Stated Genma from behind the young couple. But Tamari. I don't know what you see in him. Stated the genin once again. Alright. I've had enough. You obviously didn't pay any attention in the academy, so I'll start from the beginning. Naruto is the son and great-grandson of 2 of the 5 men to ever be marked as double S rank. His father was Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash, the man that literally single-handedly ended the Third Great War, and his great-grandfather was Tobirama Senju. A man that was referred to as the Water God due to his ability to actually manipulate oceans. Then you add his mother, Kushina Uzumaki, the Red Death, who while being the first female to S-rank status other than Tsunade Senju. Also was the most feared Kenjutsu user of all time due to her near-limitless stamina and ability to move so fast that all the enemy could see was a red mass of hair and blood. You with me so far? Questioned Tamari, not caring if the genin actually paid attention. Now, let's move on to Naruto. He's the first man to ever be ranked a triple S shinobi. He is the greatest wind user in the world, maybe ever, along with the fact that he can use all elements at will. He's the fastest man alive, most likely the strongest as well, seeing as he threw Gaara in his fully transformed state, roughly 100 feet in the air when he was 12. His taijutsu is near unbeatable, and he's so adept at breaking Jinjutsu that not even a member of Kusa's Gento clan can use Jinjutsu in him. His Kenjutsu is better than anyone he's ever faced, and he personally redid Gaara's seal. He's even so skilled with a kunai that he can hit a person dead between the eyes by just sensing them. So yay, I see a lot in him. It also helps that he's ridiculously nice and has a huge Kumo. B. Shouted A for what seemed to be the millionth time in his life. Stop trying to hit on Mabui. It's alright Reikage-sama, I know that's just the way he is. Stated Mabui. Hey bro, I'm not really putting on the flow, if I did then she would have already fell victim to the mojo. Stated B as he sat down in the chair across from A. It amazes me that you can actually rap well and still sound retarded at the same time. Stated A in wonder before he got back on track. Anyway, you know of the string of grave thefts lately? No doubt. Did you find another grave that was a body without? Question B. You know what? From now on, no more rapping in my office. Stated A with a sigh. The latest one was Dad's grave. But the branches, next. Kakashi. Started Shizune, what was that? Honey, I'm researching for our anniversary. Lied Kakashi as he hid his second book behind his back when Asuma expertly took it and hid it. Enough. Not no Kakashi. Shouted Zabuza. Everyone. No training for the next week. Gaku's got us on standby until this whole Akatsuki thing blows over, so stay fresh. Other than that, today we're on call, tomorrow we begin working on groups. It's Kakashi and Guy, Asuma and Shizune, and I'll be with by myself in Itachi and Sasuke's area. Got it. Sounds like a plan. I like it. I'm good. Youth. Alright. Get some rest. Over Konoha. 6 men hovered over the barrier that surrounded Konoha, each with a matching black cloak adorned with red clouds. The spoke as one. Soon, the world will know pain. Pain will bring peace. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the next part, don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Please like, subscribe, and comment below to let me know your thoughts. Check out my other videos for more content you might enjoy. Until next time, take care.